I've no idea. It's just a pain in the bloody nuts.
Hopefully they'll sort it then for you, mate.
Oh, they will do. It's just a headache. Um, it's just one of those things, Rich.
What's your thoughts on the lineup then?
It's just a typical nothing to play for.
Aye.
Sorry, if I'm pausing my answers, I'm just trying to get the commentary coming on. If it doesn't come on the FC, have you got a stream on? Are you watching anything?
Not at the minute, mate, no. Just YouTube.
Just YouTube. I can't even watch the match today because the naughty thing, the fire stick ain't working today.
How will it like?
It just happens. Hello everybody from the chat. You're now in tune to Richie and myself and MACKEM CABBIE. David Green, thank you very much for joining the membership of the channel. Much appreciated, mate. Hello, Michael Taylor. He says, morning from Brazil. He says, 11 o'clock there. David Green says, the sound was on just now. It'll be back on once the live sending starts, or is it me? Yeah, I'm not getting any audio commentary either, but hopefully it will come back on. I've notified Nick Barnes, who does the commentary, and he's going to pass the message on. They often do make a muck up of the commentary because I think they're not used to playing on a bank holiday Monday at 3 o'clock. It seems to throw them. Yeah, David Green says, Watson. Oh, no. And Richie says, the co-commentator, afternoon, everybody. Let's hope for a better game today. David Jackson says, this team against Blackburn is set up to lose. Something badly wrong at the club, he says. These owners don't want promotion. It's been clear for weeks. So getting quite mixed reactions there. What do you reckon?
I think by now, well, from my eyes, I think he's just sort of, I don't know, I think he's just sort of giving other players a game and resting and, like my end and people like that and Roberts and I think he's just giving them a rest and giving everybody a game just to get the sort of like match fitness into the legs, isn't it, Cabby? I mean, I can see the frustration. I am frustrated at the minute myself. Like, I mean, we should be winning games really going into these playoffs. But like we said the other night when we were doing the bit chat, I can see both points. You know what I mean? I can see why people are getting angry, why we're not, fielding our best players at the minute and getting them out there. But I can also see maybe what Labree's doing as well, like sort of like just resting and getting a few minutes into some legs, Cabby. I'm surprised to see Watson starting again today.
Look, I mean,
but again, yeah,
I just think he's using Watson as a stopgap. He's playing Watson. It means somebody else isn't getting tired or potentially go and get injured.
Yeah, exactly.
Me, I'm just laid back now, mate. I'm just chilled out. If we play awful or this and that the other today, I'm a fuss sort of, I know, but it's just because of the fact we're done and dusted in the playoffs. I really can understand. I mean, we've got like 2 big cup finals coming up at the end of the season. I really can't see the sense of going hell for leather. Why? What are you gonna gain from it? And now we're in the playoffs, right? It doesn't matter what position you consolidate yourself in the playoffs. It doesn't matter at all. Because at the end of the day, you're playing tough opposition. And there's nothing you can do about that. So whether you're 3rd, 4th, 5th or 6th, at some point or other, you're going to play a decent team, and you can't get away from that. So it doesn't matter what position we finish in the playoffs. They're all going to be just as equally as difficult as each other.
I tell you what, Cabby, I did hear something actually. Excuse me. It's from another channel, and I was watching it, and it was somebody else's obviously opinion. So what they said is, they said that they knew somebody that went to a talk-in with Speakman, and it was Ray saying, well, why we're sort of like playing this poor football. What's changed from the start of the season? You know, where's this high pressure gone? Where's this sort of like hunger? You know what I mean, to get goals and you get what I mean. So basically, what Speakman turned around and said is apparently the club is now preparing to get promoted into the Premier League and to play a specific style of football. He said teams that have gone up from the Championship into the Premier League have had more success of playing a low block with a fast counter attack than they have of teams going up from the Championship playing a high press against teams as well. Which, when I heard that, I thought actually that might answer a fair few questions of sort of what is going on at the minute. Is Lebris sort of like moulding the team now to play like what we would play like in the Premier League? But on the flip side of that, Cabby, I don't see the sense in that. We're still in the Championship. Why we're not playing the football that we want to play, the high pressing, and you know what I mean, taking the game to the opposition. So that was a little bit of an interesting sort of like comment that was made there, because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Nobody does, unless you're actually at the club and you're hearing what's going on. And I thought, well, maybe, you know what I mean, maybe he's trying to mould into that sort of playing style, but I hope that playing style isn't what we're going in the playoffs with, sitting in a low block and just trying to hit teams on the counter attack, because I think we'll get beat. I mean, what do you reckon on that, Cabby? Do you reckon that's a little bit of a point, like, or do you think it's just sort of like just an excuse, or do you think it's actually the case?
No, I don't. Look, I mean, you know, nobody's guaranteed Premier League football the next season. They've still got to do the job. I mean, I've said all along. I says when we've got all a fit team, then we can beat anybody in this division, and we have proved it. If they do play what you've suggested, like the fact like we have done the last month or so, then you know the playoff could be over in the first leg.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's nobody knows. Maybe that's the best thing, that nobody knows, because if we don't know, then the teams aren't going to know what Sunderland's tactics are. Do you know what I mean? And people are already saying, I can't wait to play Sunderland, because they're looking at us as being the weakest link out of the playoff contenders, which is good. Let them think that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to catch up on a few on the chat. Jerry, good afternoon. Nice to see you. David Jackson, good to see you, mate. He says his team against Blackburn is set up to lose. Something badly wrong. I've already read that. Trisha, hello Trisha, how are you? Nice to see you. He says hello, Cabbie and Richie and all the Black Cats. Hope you're okay. Mark says greetings, Cabbie and Richie from Kelso. Hope get a win, boost our confidence for the playoffs. Elizabeth Rutherford says, why is Watson anywhere near the football team? Get red now. And David Green has gifted a membership to Andrew Moore, so very kind of you, David Jackson. Thank you very much for that. Janet says, hello Cabbie and Richie, how are the lads? There's still quite a few people still having a dig at Watson, aren't there?
It'll not stop, Cabby. It'll not stop till he leaves. It's just one of them things at the minute, isn't it? I still stand by what I say. I'm still thinking a lot of fans are being bitter towards the kid. I mean, let's be honest, he's got a lot of things on his mind. He's, 18, 19 maybe. If you can picture yourself being that age and in his shoes, of course your mind's going to be on other things as well, you know what I mean? But I think it's just bitterness because he's one of our own, and that's just my opinion. And it's like the same with Henderson. I'm sure there was a little bit of nastiness when Henderson left. I mean, Henderson wasn't great really when he played for it, like nowhere near the level that he played at Liverpool, but like it was the fact he was one of our own players. I can't remember about Pickford. I can't remember if there was any sort of like witch hunt after Pickford when he left at Everton, but I think that was more because we got relegated, wasn't it? But I just think, in my opinion, CABBIE, I think we should just accept the fact he's still at the club. He's still going to do a job for, and just move on from it. Just forget about it. I mean, I think he's had enough stick in my eyes.
I just think you look. I don't care who it is. Yes, you can understand why players would want to leave. They've got to better themselves, but it is going to leave a little bit of a bitter taste in the mouth of supporters because potentially you've got a cracking player that doesn't want to be here, and it does leave the Sunderland supporters scorned. It doesn't matter who that is, whether it was Darren Bent years ago. It always leaves a slight bitter taste in the mouth because they've chosen another club. And I know money comes into it, but that's just the way it is. But Watson's not helping himself at all by his dire performances. You know, his half-hearted, I can't be bothered attitude. That's what's getting the Sunderland fans' backs up. It's like that performance against Bristol City was just absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
And he's not helping himself. Tricia says, "How is Davey doing? I hope he's feeling better." Yeah, he's all right. Tricia, he's just chilling out. Davey being Davey. Jennifer Andrews says, "Hiya guys. We're having a problem getting the audio commentary at the moment, so we might have to listen to whatever audio Richie's got on at the background. He might have to turn his up a little bit." Because SAFC have got the bank holiday Monday hangover, which they usually always get. Don't know what it is, but you think it would be so easy. You can send signals to Saturn and you kind of get a signal across the road to receive the footy. And don't forget, I know, we are doing the show tonight as well, 8 o'clock, 8 till 9. Listen live. But it is strange. It is still a strange atmosphere. Yeah, Davey's doing all right, Tricia. It is a strange atmosphere, isn't it? These like sort of games. I mean, in a way, I suppose it's a plus because it just shows you what a good season we've had because we've been able to relax for weeks now, knowing that we're in the playoffs. Can you imagine how different it would have been if we were the likes of Coventry or Middlesbrough or Bristol City when we haven't consolidated ourselves? Can you imagine how uncomfortable we'd be feeling, thinking, are we going to make the playoffs or not? But we've already done that. Do you know what I mean? And we've got to remember, you know, that's a great achievement by the club. They've done that job. And yes, I know we're whinging at the fact like the footy's not the best, this and that, the other. But you know, hats off. We've done to consolidate ourselves in the playoffs such an early time with so many weeks to go. Just about. It's you know, it is a job. It is a good job, well done. Morning to Doug B. Good to see you. Good to see Carl Wingfield. He's the member of the channel as well. He says, "I see why we are playing young'uns, but shouldn't we have a win run going into the playoffs?" David Jackson says 3-1 today. CABBIE says, Carl, I can see both sides of the flip coin to that. I mean, Richie's just been saying, yeah, it is nice to have a win and run going into the playoffs, but there's the other side of it is we could have won the last 4 games and got 2 or 3 injuries, and you wouldn't want the likes of Isidore or Lefay to be injured, Patterson to be injured. You didn't want it. I can see both. We do want to be entertained, but you've got to be careful as well. I mean, we've signed the check, signed, sealed, delivered, playoffs is done, doors shut. We're already at the party. We just need the other 3 teams, well, the other 2 teams to join us. Etienne says, "Hi, CABBIE and all." He says, "Alesic on the right. Maybe that's his spot," he says. So
is he on the right?
Apparently so.
Didn't have a good game last time he played there, did he?
No, I know.
He's another one I feel a little bit sorry for, Cabby. I mean, I know it was said on previous shows, like me, you, and Davey, and Jacob have talked about it. It was said like he's supposed to be this next sort of like Serbian international midfielder. You know, he's like a Serbian wonder kid. He's getting into the national team, but we haven't really seen much of him. And we definitely haven't seen him play in his natural position in midfield because he's been used on the wings. He's done an all right job when he's played on the left, but I can't remember who we played against now when he played on the right, but it was he didn't look very comfortable there. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on today. I mean, I'm all for him. You know, hopefully you'll do well, but I can't see him doing well on that right hand side today. Like,
It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. I'm just messaging SAFC on Twitter to just basically tell them that your audio company's not right. It's that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. What you're saying. It's with a commentary. It's because the staff's off. That's what it is, and there's nobody there to reset it. Rico, well, there's loads of people coming in. Dean, he says, hello, Dean. He says, remember playing Luton with no defenders? Rico says, hi, Cabby. We need to know how the fringe players play. He says, I feel it's the right time to try them out. I totally agree. Etienne says, according to James Copley and SAFC pre-match show, yep, that's the position of where Lafayette is playing. Kingfisher, hello, Kingfisher, good to see you. He says, hi, guys, please like and subscribe. We need to show some fight today to repay the fans. Ken Udale says, hi, all, can't believe he's playing Watson. Yeah, and you're not the only one. And Kyle Q says, let's get a win. Love the streams here every time I am. Thanks a lot, Kyle. Cheers. We haven't got any audio commentary for the stream at the moment. There's the Sunderland AFC, which I pay for. There's no audio coming through at the moment, so we might have to listen to Richie's end if he's got it on Sky or whatever. Might just have to hear something. What you're you what, mate?
No, I'm just trying to get it set up now.
Oh yeah.
What were you going to say?
Are you what you expecting from today?
It's much of the same, to be honest with you. Can't see anything being over the top like we're going to go out for the game. I think we're just going to hit them on the counter attack like we did against Bristol City.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope we'll get at least a draw today. I mean, that would be great, and a win would be even better. But let's not forget, Blackburn are on some good form at the minute. Did they beat Millwall 4-1, was it, or 5-1, or something like that?
They did. And can you... Blackburn can't make the playoffs, I don't.
They mathematically can, but it's very unlikely now. I think Bristol City have pretty much cemented the place in the playoffs, pretty much, I think, now. They've got the likes of like Coventry and Borough. Without looking at the league table, I can't remember who's under them. But it's going to be a big show for Blackburn. But I think it's just going to be a thing for them, just to play for the morale factor, isn't it? You know what I mean? If there's a chance they can, why not go for it? But I certainly don't think today is going to be an easy game.
No.
But you just don't know, Cabby. You don't know what type of Sunderland's going to turn up there. So I think it's just we're going to have to wait and see. Like
David MACKEM, David Jackson says, have we got any options to buy Lafay without promotion? I don't think so. Devon says, afternoon all, how are you doing, Devon? David Green says, decent turnout, the ground's filling up, I'm watching SAFC live, working fine. Yeah, the video's working fine, it's just the audio. Michael Taylor says, I am all resting for the core players, but would like to see an electric performance from the young'uns. Mike Cassett says, try radio Newcastle, Cabby. Yeah, you can't listen to football commentary from local radio stations on internet because of copyright rules and regulations. You can listen to it if I had a DAB digital radio, but anything online, then they're not allowed to broadcast it, I don't think. But I will try. But I think that's the way it is. David Green says, yes, error on audio, but live stream is okay, thank. Yeah, it is. It is, mate. Simon, hello, Simon. He says, I think with the side we have put out, we will lose. And Dean says, can't afford the fee without Premiership.
That was funny that they were lining up and Blackburn side, the sprinklers come on and they've all run away.
Have they? That's class. You can whip. You can. If there's no music on, you can whap your commentary up.
It's the loudest I can get it there. You hear that?
Yes, I can, mate. Aye.
Oh, Watson got a boo there for Watson.
Hey?
Watson just got a massive boo from the crowd.
Really?
Aye.
No way.
About Carlton Fairweather, because we will see. It'll be not in the stadium in a moment.
It's an absolute headache when SCFC do this. Like, the thing is, there's nowhere you can. There's no way you can contact SAFC either. Yes, Tricia, with the SAFC haven't got the audio commentary on at the moment. Yeah, that's an applause for Carlton.
Yeah. One eye's facing his shirt in the middle of the pitch.
Is he?
Yeah.
Commentary fine, Blackburn feed. I mean, it might be on Radio Newcastle. I don't know, I'll just have to try. Just bear with me a second.
A couple of times, Danny, on the programmes. A lovely, lovely gentleman who has been in the club for many years, behind the scenes. It's such a sad loss. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a massive loss for the football club, as you say. You know, I've known Carlton well over these last few years, coming in doing some coaching with various agents.
James Bell, the full
training guardian, he's got a beaming smile on his face. It's a laugh and a joke as a lad.
Richie?
Yes, mate.
You can turn your commentary off, mate. I've actually, Radio Newcastle must be playing the match on live on their channel, so we're absolutely fine.
Champion, Radio Bud.
Fourth official Jeremy Simpson, James Bell's all in black. Blackburn Rovers in their blue and white halves. They're defending the Roker end as we look down from the back of the west stand. Sunderland will be playing from left to right. They're in their red and white stripes, black shorts, red socks in a huddle.
Hello and good
Oh, maybe not.
This is the only place on planet Earth you get every goal as it
Not
goes
coming
in
on.
across
No,
the
it's
field.
just come off.
It's Total Sports
What
Squad
about
goals.
Blackburn radio station? I don't know what if they've got one like.
You can try that, but I thought so. Once the 3 o'clock kicks off. Hello, Ken Walton. How you doing? Yeah, the commentary's just gone off because of the copyright rule for 3 o'clock. I just have to keep trying.
Don't walk this up again for you, mate.
You can do, mate. You can do.
Just kicked off.
By makeshift right back Alan Brown.
Good lad.
Probably Watson looking to bring in Wilson Isidore. Former player of the season, Danny Bart was there. Really good player, Danny Bart. Found himself on the ball again. Blackburn trying to pick up pressure on the
corner now.
Yeah, it's the pressure from Sunderland. So they might a little bit reluctant to go long there. Blackburn just getting soft as well. Yeah, playing themselves into a spot of bother. Give the corner away.
Oh, yeah, let's get a goal early on. Come on.
Let's get a goal early on. Come on.
Harrison Jones on set piece duty this afternoon. Did he do that? Well, looking at regulars on it, Chris Reagan. Patrick Roberts not involved. But no, pause. Might come for another one, I think. Corner for Sunderland.
Corner for Sunderland. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the order, Richie, says Trisha. Thanks, guys, says Kingfisher. Hi to you both from Ken Walton. Yeah, well, I can't find the commentary for the background at the moment. I guess there's no office staff at the audio commentary.
Well, front post again. It's got the third corner.
Unbelievable.
Two swingers. First one's low, wasn't it? Second this one short. Quickly, he's probably wants it. Crossed it right footed. Charged down.
Good corner, was it, Richie?
Set pieces there in a space of 50 seconds. I think first one's put it on top of the goalkeeper.
Was
it a good corner?
No, not really.
Probably being told to do that, though.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah, coming out there, but you know, maybe they look to whip it near post. I get that, but I think 50 seconds on the clock, whatever it is, put a ball on top of the keeper early, pack the 6-yard box, see how he deals with it.
This is all wrestling with Danny Barnes as Alan Brown takes the ball on him momentarily. Harrison Jones linking up with Tommy Watson, and the ball is brought away.
Yes, Geordie Groundwater. Yeah, it always happens on a bank holiday Monday. I think the club website forgets to activate the audio commentary because there's no staffing on the Monday because it's a bank holiday. It happens all the time. Every bank holiday, without fail, it always happens. But it's not right because people are paying for it.
Yeah, I think Swanson is obviously naturally left-footed. Straight away.
Well, it's a kind of mix up of flaws and a mix of gaps.
Yeah.
Rosie Laws, hello Rosie, says nearly 1-0 to us.
Wow. Harrison Jones takes it. Let's go. Harrison Jones.
Oh. Good strike. Use the dog, picked it up in the box. Hit the first time, the keeper fumbled it.
Jones take it first time. It's a lovely strike. Kive does make a bit of a meal of it. See it back here now.
Good strike by Isidore.
Good strike, was it?
Yeah.
The cleaner probably unplugged it to plug a Hoover in, Trisha. You're probably right.
Wilson into the trick out.
I will say though, my stream sometimes lags a little bit, but I can get it back on straight away.
I think we're frustrated. That's where set forwards will get. Not scored as a second to last 10 games, Wilson Isidore, so he'll be frustrated. They want a lot of ball to come into that box. You can see in games, naturally, gets a little bit frustrated. He's not getting too much service.
10 games for Isidore without the goal.
I know. Let's hope he gets 5 or 6 goals in the playoffs, eh?
Aye.
There's a start.
We've seen the quality he can do, Isidore, like.
Under the corner. Much better start.
Look away today. What's this you can see? No 7 changes there. 7 opportunities. Yeah, exactly.
That's nice to see. Tommy Watson's gone over to take the corner and there's a few fans in the rope and giving them an applause. Like.
Hey, so they shouldn't all. Crikey. Yeah, let's just,
again.
Can't any of them take a decent corner? We've had that problem. Yeah, Ryan, great audio on Sky, I know. But you can't have audio playing on the background for Sky because that is naughty.
Offside position for the linesman says down below us. See the linesman there, but it's just where wants it to be taken from. They could be continued from anyway. I'll do it. Get on with it. Well, Sunderland were reduced to 10 men at this point. The game on Friday. Can't just yet. Callum Britton takes it. Alexis gets an important interception, but the ball still goes with the momentum of the Blackburn players. Takes the sliding challenge. Well, Joe, to say to Mr. Stein on the left hand side, Alexis, sorry, thought offside.
It looks like I was saying out of my ship.
By far in front with minutes played this season in that central midfield three this afternoon. It's all about the pace of the division as the coming together.
David Green says, when I had issues with the live streaming last year, the support was based in France. Yeah, it will be. Tricia says, Rosie, I agree. It was a shocking decision. Definitely not a red card, said Rosie. Chris Minton says, Wilson Isidore has had 3 or 4 goals disallowed, not to mention his missed penalties. Ryan Jones, haha, only got Sky Sports for the football and F1 for Now TV. Doug B says, daughter and son-in-law just left on a 6-hour journey home in time for the game to start.
So what I can see from here so far, Cabbie, is Tommy Watson's out on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Get it clear, man. Get it out. So Watson's on the right, Alexa on the left. Harrison Jones is playing the role that Chris Rigg normally does, who's the 14 years ago. And then Job and Samad sitting a little bit deeper.
Yeah, Leeds are 1-0 up already.
Aye, seen there against Stoke.
Yeah, what you're listening to is some commentary in the background with Richie, because the SAFC website is not up and running for some strange reason. So don't forget, hit that, click the thumbs up if you can, thank you, and subscribe if you are new.
Good lad. Harrison Jones played nice there, that was good. Have a shot, go on, son. Oh, no,
It's mad, isn't it, Richie, how difficult it is for supporters.
Nice turn for Job. He's still going.
Free kick, that, ref.
Yeah, the advantage was cleared. It was low, wasn't it? All just sat there.
Are you seeing that, Cabbie?
Strike away.
I was saying it's bad crack, isn't it? The fact, like, how difficult it is to actually just tune in to the team you love. It shouldn't be that way, do you know what I mean? It should be accessible properly.
Yeah. It's all down to money, unfortunately, mate.
Yeah. It certainly is.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I know they've recently got back on track. Right time. And Sheffield United obviously the side who faltered. It's 3 games, is it? Not a win. Again.
It certainly is.
Job again.
Dirty Leeds. Leeds are 2-0 up already. Well, I mean, Tricia, they should refund you, Cabbie. I mean, I don't like pestering Nick Barnes, but I just don't know who else I can talk to because there's no email addresses. Because I will have a word to see if I can get an email address, because the amount of times this happens, it's shocking. Middlesbrough are 1-0 up, says Rosie. Good afternoon, Jacqueline Copson.
Game for a few weeks back. West Brom was one of them. There's one prior to that as well. But it's experience, isn't it? You play centre midfield where a lot goes on around you. When you drop in and play, say, a fullback, everything's generally happening in front of you.
He's good to that last one. It's excellent job. He left and right. He puts the top. He wants it.
Yeah, ball's on. Offside, wasn't it? And on Alexic. Top of your picture.
Low and home. It is Sheffield Wednesday nil middle.
It's easier from the gap, you know.
Hi Richie, you can turn your commentary off, mate. I'm going to put 5 Live Sport on, and they do all the ground updates and everything, mate, and I'll be able to hear it better.
Radio bun, no worries.
Okay, mate, so I'm just going to whack it on now.
As things stand, Middlesbrough moving to within 1 point of Coventry City and the playoffs. But for Sheffield Wednesday, Andy, it's just fallen off, hasn't it?
But thanks for your help, Richie. Thank
you.
you.
Tell that everything's not right there. I'd be surprised if we don't get some kind of reactions in the summer in terms of jobs and people moving on and stuff like that. Because you can hear in the interviews.
Good afternoon, Jacqueline Copson.
It's not going on. I mean, I've seen something.
It's not good enough. You're paying for nothing. Oh no, I know, Tricia, it's ridiculous. I will get in touch with them though.
Fans, like, it's just crazy stuff. It's a professional football club, and it's a massive, huge big football club, and it just seems like a bit of a circus at times, doesn't it?
Goal at the top end of League One. It's to Wycombe Wanderers. Well, we go to Wycombe Wanderers and Emily Herbert.
Well, it's gone to Charlton. They take the lead. Lloyd Jones slots it over the head of Will Norris in goal. His third of the season. A chip inside the 6-yard box. Cool as you like. Inside 10 minutes, Charlton lead Wycombe by a 1-0.
Lyle, your former club, Charlton Athletic, still with ambitions to make the automatics. Now 2 points off Wycombe Wanderers and Wrexham.
So Leeds are top of the league as we present, 94 points, but Burnley play Sheffield United later.
Such momentum.
Momentum is the key word.
Middlesbrough are just 1 point behind Coventry City, who are drawn 0-0 Coventry. So
anything can happen. I was fortunate enough to be part.
I'd rather have Middlesbrough in the playoffs than Coventry, I tell you.
Promoted and it was a real team effort from absolutely everybody involved, and those fans will back that team until to the very hilt. And even if it is the playoffs, it will be very interesting to see the Valley rocking.
Andy, Charlton Athletic want to be back in the Championship so desperately, don't they?
No, I was just going to say to Lyle there, I mean, it's an incredible football club, Lyle, isn't it? It's a really kind of special place, and it's been such a tough kind of journey for them over the last probably, 15 years or so now. The owners haven't been quite right, and the fans have had so much to put up with. And even if you venture further back before the kind of Premier League days, they've had a lot to put up with. I'd love to see them get promoted. Nathan Jones, he had a bit of a rocky.
You see this being a 0-0 game, says Doug. What are you listening to now? We've got 5 Live on in the background because for some strange reason the Sunderland
Charlton Athletic on the hunt for the
audio commentary isn't working today.
Their way at Blackpool. Shojo Saka.
Yeah, it's Blackpool 0, Wrexham 0. Wrexham, who've had the better of the play so far. It is Blackpool, though, with a corner at the moment. Blackpool finding it really difficult to keep hold of the ball. At the moment, it's the Wrexham fans to my left who are making all the noise. It's Blackpool 0, Wrexham 0.
Shojo, thank you. Bristol Rovers 0, Stevenage 1. That's a big goal with Crawley Town winning, and it's been a miserable start to his managerial campaign or his managerial career, if you like, for Inigo Calderon at Bristol Rovers. There dropping into the bottom 4 as things stand, but Crawley Town moving to within 4 points of safety as things stand. They're 1-0 up. They're 2-0 up this afternoon at Exeter. Goals from Russian Hepburn Murphy and Pan Camera, putting Scott Lindsay's side in a really good position. 16 minutes gone there. Crawley 2, Exeter 0, and we will go to Molly Stevens, who's at Cardiff versus Oxford. Molly.
Yeah, goalless at the moment, Aaron. The home side are on the front foot in the opening stages, though the best chances from Cardiff. Alex Robertson lays off to Chris Willock on his left, who waited a second too long, it seemed, to get his shot off over the bar. Yusuf Saleh gets on the end of a cross.
Sorry, like SCFC, but that's really bad crack, that, like.
Aaron Ramsey's Barmy Army rings out at the Cardiff City Stadium.
I was just sending you a chat that it's okay for
Molly,
them.
you talked about protest pre-game. What's the atmosphere been like inside? What's the crowd like as well?
Yeah, do you know, the crowd is quite encouraged,
no,
actually, it seems. games. I mean, a packed out Oxford
They'll
United
be watching the
but Cardiff City definitely a nervous
actual
field to
video
start
stream.
this
That's
game.
what they'll be doing.
Both on the pitch and off the pitch. Before the game, as you mentioned, we saw blue flares and protests outside the stadium, very much wanting the board out of this football club. Numerous banners to signify that, but a real sense of galvanising the football club here and the new manager, well, manager for now, Aaron Ramsey. Seeing Aaron Ramsey in the dugout in front of me alongside Chris Gunter is not a sight that I thought I'd see anytime soon, given that Aaron Ramsey, of course, is a part of this playing squad at the moment, just out on the sidelines because he's injured. He's sporting a bit of a Pep Guardiola outfit today, let's say. He's got a long sleeve polo shirt, black slack trousers and trainers, so taking his role seriously by the looks of things. But yeah, 0-0 for now, but a good atmosphere, clearly needing points today, both clubs.
Molly Stevens on Football and Fashion Watch for us here on 5 Live Sport this afternoon. Steve, chaos at that football club, chaos at Cardiff City. Every single week of this season, something's been going on. There was all that excitement when Omar Reza come in. They had the unbeaten run across the late part of the autumn.
Just messaged Sunderland FC on Twitter again.
One way, that's down.
Yeah, I think Omar took over in very difficult circumstances, didn't he? But got a fantastic reaction from the dressing room. Went on a great run of games. Point with Crews was excellent, and really looked as if they'd settle things down. But you know, the new manager bounce only lasts so long unless you've got.
Dean says SCFC live audio okay now. I'll keep refreshing it at my end, see what it says.
Big club Cardiff who arguably should be fighting for the Premier League today.
Lyle, if you're a player in there, what are you thinking? Just watching it all unfold in front of you.
It's a strange place to be in the dressing room when there's a circus going on above your head, but the only thing you can hope is that, as it seems to be, the fans and the players kind of bond together in this siege mentality of, okay, we might want the owners out or the board out or whoever else out, but once we get inside that stadium, we're going to scream and shout and back you to the hilt, which is exactly what those players will need. So hopefully for them, they'll be able to pull a rabbit out of the hat and build forward and try and keep themselves in the league, because it's really, I mean, Birmingham has showed it a different way this year, but it's really the best way to do it is by staying in the highest league possible.
Penalty in League Two. It's come at Chesterfield. Which way? Chris Coles.
It's gone to Bradford City already with a 1-goal advantage.
No, there's no SCFC audio on yet, Dean. How are you listening to yours, Dean? Have you got it on DAB digital radio by any chance?
Bar the penalty taker outside the box. Here comes Sarcevic, he scores, drives it straight down the middle, and Bradford strengthen their position inside the top 3 of League Two. It's been an excellent start. Chesterfield 0, Bradford 2.
I was just about to say, Doncaster Rovers are top of League Two, but yeah, that picture will change consistently throughout the afternoon. As mentioned, Port Vale could clinch promotion.
Messaged SCFC on Twitter saying, please sort out your audio commentary out. We are paying for it. Cheers.
We'll be back with him this, as things rolled on. But Lincoln 2-0 up on Bolton. You were saying about Bolton, Steve?
Well, they've collapsed, haven't they? And it's a strange thing. He never loses his job, and they brought Shuey in, and he's been fantastic. Got them on a great run. New manager bounce, call it what you like. And it just appears the wheels have come off at such an incredible time with 3-4 games to go.
Barnsley 0, Peterborough 1. Ricky
Connor
James
Thompson
Jones
afternoon, decent win
Darren
after Friday's
Ferguson
defeat, says
side.
Connor. I could do
Strong
with that, I
finish
tell you.
season, for them after they beat Birmingham City in the EFL Trophy final at Wembley last weekend. Let's check in on Carlisle United, travelling away to Accrington Stanley. Mark Hughes' side could be relegated this afternoon. That's Sani Rudravajala.
20 gone and it's goalless so far. Yeah, massive day. Carlisle looked down and out, but 3 wins, including 3-2 over leaders Port Vale, with a 93rd minute penalty save from Gabe Breeze has Mark Hughes' side believing. He got old-fashioned striker Georgie Kelly up front. He's got 4 in 3.
Peter Cooper's just replied with saying, absolutely rubbish service they have. They don't have any problem taking your money.
He's 37 years old. He's looking for his 10th goal of the season. It's grey, drizzling. So the roof is leaking.
People are noticing anyway.
With a Football League place at stake.
Stunning, absolutely stunning. As we mentioned earlier, in League One, Cambridge United and Crawley could both be relegated this afternoon. Crawley, however,
anything decent and happen, Richie?
Up already on Exeter. How are Cambridge getting on?
Not really.
Let's go to Angus Patterson.
We've just sat back, obviously, when they've had the ball in this low block and the pressure that we're putting on them first sort of like 10 minutes is sort of like stopped now. It's turning just a little bit scrappy.
Massive noise erupted at the Abbey Stadium. Cambridge 1, Leyton Orient 0.
Straight back to Ellen Road. Lee Blakeman.
3-0 to Leeds United.
But yeah, it's evident we're just looking for the counter-attack against Leeds today. Harrison Jones was looking quite lively.
Is he? That's good. Joel Peru's got a hat-trick for Leeds United.
Jeez, already.
They're doing all they can. It's going to be over to
He's
Burnley
class, that Joel
United
Peru.
later. Here though, Leeds 3, Stoke 0 after 20 minutes.
They'll be straight back down, man, in the Premier League.
Penalty at Hillsborough. Sarah Mulkerrins.
And it's a penalty that's been awarded to Middlesbrough.
Oh, Middlesbrough. Are they going to go 2-0 up? Penalty to Middlesbrough.
Into the area. Ingleson eventually took him down. The referee has awarded a penalty. Ingleson has gone off injured at the moment, so we've had a little bit of a delay. But things going from bad to worse. It's Tommy Conway who is over the ball, standing. He scored a last gasp winner in stoppage time on Friday to keep Middlesbrough within the playoff hunt.
Ball played into the back post. Alan Brown got his head to it.
He's up against the Northern Irish keeper, Pierce Charles. A little stutter and it's saved. And saved again by the 19-year-old keeper from Northern Ireland.
Nice ball actually from Electric into the
by
box.
the Sheffield Wednesday defence. So it is still Sheffield Wednesday 0, Middlesbrough 1.
Did anyone see his howler the other day? Anyone watch the howler from Good Friday? Lyle? No. Didn't do your homework, Steve?
Sheffield Wednesday.
Hey, just give him a bit of credit. He just saved the penalty, mate, and you're bringing up his howler from the other day.
Middlesbrough just had a penalty saved. Ooh.
No, I didn't see it.
Well, he drop kicked the ball on someone's backside and it rolled into the net.
No, I did see
As the Leeds fans are singing, Leeds are falling apart again. Tricia says, holy hell, Leeds are battering them. John DeSud says, Leeds showing us how it's done. Super Roker Ross says, Perot hat-trick in 20 minutes. Super Roker Ross said, penalty Mr. Barrett. Yeah. Doug says, Leeds deserve promotion. ALS Richie has said Alexic is a waste of space. What do you think about that?
Ellen Road in front of 40,000 in a day.
In today's game, what, the match now or just in general?
It's wonderful.
Today I think.
Yeah, no, look, I can't. Obviously, it's a massive.
He hasn't been mentioned a few times. I haven't really seen him on the ball, but he has just delivered a decent cross into the box just before there. But we've got to remember he's out of position. He's not a natural left winger.
When you get the crowd going and
he's getting onto the ball.
And it's a really difficult.
He just doesn't look comfortable, Cabbie. That's as much as what I would say about him.
So it's a tough afternoon for Stoke.
Yeah.
Going to talk one of Steve's former sides in a moment, but
in fact, by the way we're playing, it looks like the line's led by Wilson, Harrison Jones, and Tommy Watson. And then it looks like when we're going on the attack, Alexic is actually sitting back a little bit in midfield.
Cheers, Tricia, for the message, just for support about.
Luke Molyneux nominated for an EFL League 2 Player of the Year award. He's had a magnificent season as Molyneux of Doncaster Rovers. Just on Crawley, 3-0 up now. Russian Hepburn Murphy with his second of the afternoon. Do you know what, Steve? We're going to talk to you about that in a moment, but we've got to go to Port Vale. Goal, Adam Whitty.
And a big goal perhaps in the League 2 promotion race. Grimsby have taken the lead against Port Vale after 23 minutes. Danny Rose with his 13th of the season, a cool, calm finish, and then he stood right in front of the Port Vale fans, arms outstretched. That's a big goal for Grimsby's playoff chances. They will go into the playoffs as it stands. For Port Vale, they're dropping to third as it stands in the League 2 automatic promotion race. It is Port Vale 0, Grimsby 1, 24 minutes gone.
The race for automatic promotion in League 1 is wide open once again. Emily Herbert.
Charlton again, they double their lead. Luke Berry with an absolute rocket into the back of the net, outside the box. He's on top form. Goal in the last
What's
game.
happening, Richie?
Today too. Charlton dreaming. 2 points off the autos. It's
Blackburn on the attack now. They just want to throw in.
He's such a modern day general, isn't he? Following Nathan Jones from Luton Town to Cambridge. What a player, though. He really is just consistent, and he offers that quality. And what a strike from him, Steve.
It's a fantastic strike. But
their right winger's got acres and acres of space on that right hand side. We've just won the ball back there. That's it, bringing it forward.
In the top corner, it's a great strike.
just on Crawley,
too much on
could
it.
be relegated today. They're 3-1 up now. Caleb Waters pulled one back for Exeter, but Scott Lindsay coming back after a disastrous spell at Milton Keynes. I mean, he's come back and he's galvanised them, and they've got fight. They're showing fight.
Too many good players to be getting relegated.
Etienne says, hate Piroch is always on fringe of offside. Kyle says, I love Sunderland, but Leeds do deserve to go up. Rodolfo says, Sunderland. ELS said, this is so pedestrian. Jonathan Mark is another one that says, Elesic is absolute garbage. Tricia says, Kyle Q, Leeds deserve it. You can't deny that. Well, you can't. You cannot indeed.
Athletic 2-0 up at Wickham on 82 points. How are Wrexham getting on, though, this afternoon? They're at Blackpool. So Shojo Saka.
Yeah, Blackpool 0, Wrexham 0. We've just had a massive chance for...
Stephen Jones says, there's any ideas of Isidore having a clue where the goal is?
He had a good shot at the very start of the match. It was a decent strike by him.
A big goal at the foot of the championship. Colby Bishop at it again. A hat-trick on Friday. He's bagged one this afternoon. Lyle, you ain't going to get anything easier than that.
No, Blackburn is stretching the pitch here.
Are they?
That's so wide. Yeah.
For those who know the 72 Plus podcast well, they know Joby McAnuff absolutely hates goalkeepers. Every week there's a rant on goalkeepers. I don't know why he hates goalkeepers. He just doesn't like them.
He couldn't beat them when he played.
You said it. Hold it. Go where? There's a goal somewhere. There's a goal, another goal at Leeds. It's come at Leeds, and Junior Firpo's made it 4-0.
Junior Firpo has just made it 4-0 to Leeds. He's got 4 goals. No, he hasn't. That was Pirro. Junior Firpo. I get muddled up with them too.
Left back, isn't he? Firpo, left winger. Good player though.
And making the most of this defensive calamity they're playing against. Leeds 4, Stoke 0.
They're keeping up their end of the bargain, Andy.
I wish we signed him, that Joe Pereiro.
There's a lot of players, mate, we should have. Thanks for the 2 subscribers, thank you. Sorry about the commentary at the moment. It's out my hands. I'm going to be messaging Sunderland FC after the game. Whether they get back or not, I don't know.
It's another tap in as well. It's like 6 yards out. Nobody getting close in the 6-yard box. It really disappointing. Like Mark Romans will be tearing his hair out. He'll be looking at.
Yeah, another goal to Leeds. Dave Jackson 4-0 up. He only missed pens in 5 minutes. So Stephen Tricia says, Kyle, I bet your wife's buzzing. My mate is a Leeds fan.
That's quality to be 4-0 up like half an hour.
Yeah, but there's nobody kind of grabbing anybody. There's nobody like pulling anybody in, organising.
Blackburn corner.
Getting tight. I mean, if you look
and
at
it's
all,
well cleared.
A couple of the goals have been tap-ins as well, and there's just nobody there. There's plenty of numbers around it all the time, but there's nobody prepared to go and get tight. Nobody prepared to go and win the battle.
Northampton 1, Shrewsbury 0. Aaron McGowan with the goal for Northampton. Shrewsbury already.
Blackburn is starting to get a little bit of control. Not too much. It is still a little bit scrappy, but
is there?
John Messina's side
coming forward now.
On 52 points and
Watson bringing in for Isidore in the box arm up on another corner. That was a good break.
Lyle Taylor, Steve Evans, and Andy Reid as Milton Keynes have gone 1 up away at Crewe. Where do we want to check in next? Where should we check in next? Let's go, do you know what? Sorry, John, because we were supposed to come to you about 5 minutes ago, but things have happened. Let's check in with you at Home Park.
Plymouth 0, Coventry 0.
Plymouth 0, Coventry 0. Plymouth have been on top. Bloody hell.
From 15 yards, which just went wide of the goalkeeper's left-hand post. Dribble past the base of the post. Argyle have been attacking, playing it long, direct, working really hard, fighting for their lives, trying to stay in the division. Just the one chance from Coventry from a set piece, a header wide of the target. It's Plymouth 0, Coventry 0.
Jamie Tetes pulled one back for Bolton away at Lincoln. Lincoln 2, Bolton 1 as a latest.
Isidore's getting pulled over. I mean, Travis have had a little bit of argy-bargy in the box there.
And Steve, my word, what a job Dean Brennan has done there.
Yeah, Isidore needs a goal, like, doesn't he? I mean,
selected a lot of managers over the last 10 years,
gone 10 games without one now, Cabby.
I know.
They'll be very worthy of being champions, and they'll grace League 2.
Lewis Travis has got his arms wrapped round Isidore here.
Forest Green Rovers. Barnet, though, 1-0 up away at Sutton United, and you're up to date as we
clear
go
by
around
Blackburn.
this Easter Monday here on 5 Sport.
Who's looking at the better side, Richie?
So far, that's it. It's just very, very, very busy indeed. Just letting you know about the.
I would say us just.
Morecambe as things
Just
stand,
about.
we'll be heading to non-league. They're one behind at home to Salford.
Blackburn haven't really threatened. They've had a few breaks. They've played in our half a fair few times, but it's just, it seems when they get the ball in our half, it turns a little bit scrappy.
Well, they survived for the afternoon.
But I would say
with 2
just
games to
us.
go, it's looking perilous for Mark Hughes' side. And just looking at that job, Mark Hughes, in fact, you know what? We're going to be heading away for a goal, so I'm not going to start a topic now. But I'm just going to let the producers let me know when we can go for that goal. QPR 0, Swansea 1.
All we need to do, keep possession.
Morgan Fox with the goal.
Of course.
Swans, and we will go to the Hawthorns. Goal for Pat Murphy.
Another goal for Derby County from another set.
Derby County.
Swinging corner. Nobody took responsibility. There was Yates 6 yards out. Derby deserved.
Well, that's a result for them against West Brom, isn't it? 3-0 away from home.
West Brom 0, Derby 2.
Yeah, it's great to see.
Geordie says, how are the lads? Hello, Geordie.
Oh,
it's gone wild.
Isidore, first time hitting the box, United speciality, smack it first time.
Oh, no way.
Look here.
Ball
by Harrison Jones.
Geordie's actually a good lad, David Green. He's alright. He often pops in the channel. But yeah, he's alright. Is Geordie.
Playoffs as a minimum when it all starts, and it's been a bit of a letdown in the last few weeks, and today's probably echoed that.
I think
so Millwall are one up against. You what?
Shane Isidore loves his full volleys like in the box.
He does. Preston have just scored against Hull City, which doesn't really mean anything.
Let's check in on events at Sheffield Wednesday. They're taking on Middlesbrough. Sarah Malkerins.
Wednesday, 0 Middlesbrough.
32 minutes.
Thanks to that early goal from Finn Azaz. There's quite a little bit of spice now around this fixture after that referee gave the penalty to Middlesbrough. That was saved. You can just sense the home.
I've got some bad news for you in a minute, Richie.
I think no.
A couple of opportunities. Azaz ballooned an effort.
Yeah.
Morgan, he dragged a shot just wide, and just moments ago, Smith up the other end had a header saved from a corner.
I must be behind a minute or two.
To the Stadium of Lights, Sunderland taking on Blackburn Rovers. Andy Sixsmith.
And your timing is impeccable because it's Sunderland 0, Blackburn Rovers 1. Well worked move down the left. The ball eventually coming to Tyrese Dolan, who chipped it inside and fired it into the roof of the net before the necessary acrobatics.
I'll have to watch this back to see what happened there.
In front of the home fans. Big goal potentially for Blackburn. They're still mathematically in the championship playoff race. They lead Sunderland 1-0.
Goal at Hull to the birthday boy, Adam Cottier.
Honestly, like.
And to Preston North End, who have scored from a corner really badly
I still the replay,
by
man.
Hull City. They could not clear the ball from their 6-yard area, and Lewis Gibson, the centre-back.
Oh, Kyle says, I asked my 6-year-old son to support Leeds. Like my mum or son, and like me, he says, Leeds like me mum. David says, oops. David Jackson says, game over already. Jonathan says, absolute crap. FFS says, Ryan. Absolutely dreadful says, ALS. NM8 says, sigh. Trisha says, Kyle Keary knows why loyalties lie. Ryan Jones says, Sunderland were. No challenge in the box on their players, says NM. Kingfisher and Trisha look shocked. ALS says Anderson's a cart horse. Jonathan Mark says playoffs will be a write-off. Can't see us beating a single team in this league over 2 legs. Michael Taylor says Rockets into the top of the net. Susan says useless. Jacqueline says we're 1-0 down. Keith says, are we going into the playoffs with 4 losses in a row? Their first shot on goal. Doug B says, can't see Sunderland getting more than 1 goal. Kingfisher says it's just a matter of pride now. And David Green says, okay, mate. Sean says, might as well have just stayed back in the dressing room. So quite a lot of frustrating comments on the chat there, Rich.
I think with the goal there, I think MACKEM was at fault a little bit because they come down the left-hand side. And Alan Browns went over to try and close him down, and Chris MACKEM was come alongside him as well. And then they've played the ball into the box, which their striker got a hold of. Liverpool 9 came across to try and tackle him, and obviously got the ball away, and then that was it. So I think it was out of position there for Chris Smetton, if I'm going to be a little bit harsh. I think it was a little bit of his fault, but still.
You know, there'll be plenty more twists and turns before all the results come in at the end of these games. But you know, when you just think about that.
Ryan says, Cabby, how far behind are you two? It says we always are a bit behind. If you're watching sort of certain streams and stuff.
I think I'm 2 minutes behind. I think it's always been like 2 minutes compared to the real game. It's just the way that it like screens over, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. There's that's just the way it is. But we're not really missing much by the look of things, are we?
Coming forward again.
Ken Udell says 4 players going back to goal line. Not one attacks the ball. He says we are doomed, says Derek Rigby. Half the team are more or less reserves. The real stuff happens in the playoffs. Well, I hope there's I hope there is a massive transformation.
If you're the owner, you have the right to decide who your manager is. And the owner at Coventry City was not happy what he was watching. And Mark Robbins had done a brilliant job for 8-9 seasons. But you know, he felt it was time to change, and there was a bit of disarray. But
so is that right? This will be the fourth. If we lose today, that'll be the 4th loss in a row, is it?
And how are Coventry getting on away at Plymouth Argyle? John Aikens?
No, be the 3rd loss in the row.
3rd if we lose today.
We drew against Norwich. Lost against Swansea, lost against Bristol.
Right-footed, a little curler, and will they be made to pay for these missed opportunities? Coventry in possession now in the sunshine. Plymouth 0, Coventry 0.
Reading 1-0 up away at Mansfield, a goal which boosts them back into the play-off positions. Leighton Orient behind in their game.
It's total shots, D. Hall says Sunderland 6, total shots to Blackburn 1, and that's the one that matters for Blackburn. Stephen Jones says, let them have the ball, then chase shadows. Midfield says, too slow, the forwards haven't a clue. Jonathan Mark says, we've been playing like this for ages now, nothing to do with half the team being reserves. Losing becomes a habit, says Baz.
The 21s as well before that, so he's got a good kind of indication who the good young players are, so he's been able to bring some of them in as well. He's got great enthusiasm, great energy for the job, and
good ball.
Been an easy job at all.
Lucky. Another good ball by Harrison Jones and Tommy Watson there, but got taken out and we've got another corner. He's looked quite good actually this first half, Harrison Jones. I've been very impressed with him.
What's the longest
Has he?
waited for a takeover?
Well, yeah, he's driving forward with the ball, and he's done it a fair few times. He has got plenty of energy as well.
You can imagine we went to Reading, we Rotherham when he was doing so well in the roll hunt. He knows how difficult it is. He speaks off air.
Ken Udell says this is utter dog's dirt. Stephen Jones says, got a bad habit and it ain't going away. ALS says, Watson fluffs again.
Oh, absolutely, world-class academy.
And then going into the playoff could be 5 losses in a row, says Keith.
Takeover from Rob Couhig, as expected, our Reading Football Club. Otis Khan has been sent off for Yeovil. Wigan are 1-0 up on Rotherham. James Carragher with the goal. Lincoln 2, Bolton 2. So Bolton were 2 behind, now 2-2. Alex Murphy with the equaliser for Stephen Schumacher's men. Solihull 1, Boston United 2. Connor Teal with the goal for Boston.
I love your little CABBIE action figure. I've just noticed it there.
Have you just noticed it?
Femi Aziz with the goal, and that could be a big result.
Funny, isn't it? There's been loads being made, isn't there? Some cracking ones like.
That's going to be my new profile picture for the for my YouTube page. Wow, Stephen Jones has given us a big update here. Plymouth are winning.
Big goal for Argyle. They just will not lie down.
Wow.
Brilliant from Adam Randall to get to the byline. He nicked it back to Bundu, and first time 8 yards, right foot, near post, smashes it low into the net. They've deserved that, Plymouth. Coventry just haven't been at it.
Just glad I'm not there again today, because I mean, Swansea was bad enough sitting through that game.
I know. So Coventry are now 7th. They've dropped out of the playoff position as things stand. Middlesbrough overtake them because Middlesbrough's winning at Sheffield Wednesday. They're both on 66 points, Middlesbrough, Coventry, so that's going to go to the wire. And don't forget, Middlesbrough and Coventry play each other as well, so that's going to be tasty, that, isn't it? Virtually, it's going to be a carbon copy of the Middlesbrough Coventry game in the playoffs. Remember last season?
Yeah, very much so. I think
right, yeah.
Or the season before, whatever it was. I think it is, aye.
Is that last game of the season, like, for Coventry, I
think so, yeah.
The playoff positions on goal difference. Both teams locked on 66 points. Borough with a goal difference of +12, Cov with +6. But Plymouth Argyle moving to within 2 points of safety as things stand. And it feels as though this race to a survival is going to go to the let's check in at Cardiff.
Luke O'Nien drove the ball forward then, and Harrison Jones got it inside the box, had a shot and straight over. He's my first half. He's my like at the minute, like he's been by far the best Sunderland player on the pitch.
Fit for Farai Hallam, the referee, but things quiet on the pitch too when play does get underway. You can tell this is a must-win for Cardiff,
which is really good to see from a young lad. He's taking his opportunities since he's come into the first team. You know, he's doing his best here. Like,
sack the lot, says Sean. Borough winning, Plymouth winning, says Stephen Jones. Tricia says, Doug, I think we all feel for the ticket holders, it's just not good enough. Colin Bell says, supporters are paying good money to watch this crap. I'm paying money as well to listen to the audio commentary and it's not on. Colin, D. Hall says, Harrison Jones our best player at the moment, playing 7.3. Jones has just blazed over the bar. Simon says, watch Borough balls it up. It's good to see what Harrison Jones has to contribute. I think he has rugby with that shot. Oh my God, and Plymouth Argyle are now 2 up against Coventry. Leeds are now 5-0 up.
Wow. Look forward to them highlights later.
My God.
It just presented itself to them, and it's been tapped in from a yard out.
Not looking good for Coventry.
Crazy how it works out, CABBIE, isn't it? You know what I mean? You would think these teams are definitely going to get into the playoffs, and then they play lower teams in the league, and they're getting beat.
Aye, I know.
Straight back to home part, goal for John Akers.
Plymouth have got another. Plymouth 2, Coventry 0 on the breakaway.
Getting like the Premier League, isn't it? Where anybody can beat anybody in this league now.
So at the moment, West Brom have gone. Blackburn, Millwall and Coventry and Middlesbrough are all fighting for playoff spots. She is a Kingfisher, mate. Thank you.
Maybe they should have gone better. What has happened to Coventry this afternoon? Argyle are absolutely rampant.
I tell you what, you look at Plymouth's record. There's not many teams actually win at home park, you know.
But I think he scored 4 now from a.
Tricia says it's all happening. It certainly is.
And then Matt Robbins will be pulling his head.
I've got Barley Moon back. You remember him when he played for?
I do.
Young Barley.
I'm pleased. You know,
good. Try played defensive midfield, wasn't he? He was a
absolutely.
sort of ball winner. Now he plays left back for them.
That's going to be a fascinating watch. But Leeds United doing their bit. If Sheffield United failed to win, Leeds United are promoted to the Premier League. Joel Peru with his 19th goal of the season.
I think I'll be heading straight up the one. Past where I live.
Blackburn had a corner there. It's been
invite me to go to the game today.
What a free kick.
Obviously, you win the prize.
Sunderland FC have just said Blackburn lead, and I've just replied saying, sort your audio commentary out. Don't you care about our fans?
Let's go to the Pirelli big goal.
You tell them, CABBIE. Tell them you start throwing digs if you don't sort it out.
And it's gone against the side looking to survive in League One. Burton, it's Birmingham who take the lead.
So Coventry have got one back already, have they?
Been doing all the attacking, but Birmingham just before half time get a corner from the left.
Oh, he's a
goal. Makes its way to the edge of the box to Alphonse Samsted, who's
just give the ball straight back
with his left foot. It's Burton 0, Birmingham 1.
Northampton 2-0 up on Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury, of course, already well.
There's going to be a lot of twists and turns yet to come, isn't there?
Games on loan from Burnley, another side involved in that picture down the bottom of Cambridge United. They take on Leyton Orient. Angus Patterson is at the Abbey.
In the 45th minute now.
Won, Leyton Orient 0, but it's been pretty much all Orient since Josh Stokes gave the home
You've got a free kick.
But the U's are defending doggedly and keeping League One top scorers.
Someone give it away.
Remarkably quiet here, just before half time. Cambridge United 0, Cambridge United 1, Leyton Orient 0.
Back to home park, John.
Coventry have got one back. Plymouth 2, Coventry 1.
They do need talent, Trish.
Saved by Hazard, just palmed it into the path of Haji Wright, who right-footed just passed it into an
1 minute.
net. Plymouth 2, Coventry 1.
Might have finished already now, but...
Hi.
These goalkeepers, what is going on?
Job's been very quiet this half-line cabbie. I haven't really seen much from him.
6-yard box and going, yeah, go on you go. Please stick that in my net.
And Joseph would have been able to get his hands on that and secure it instead of giving a simple goal.
Half-time between Accrington and Carlisle. We'll go there in a minute, but a big goal at the foot of League Two. And Cole Stockton has a second for Salford, which will mean curtains for Morecambe heading down to the National League.
Watson goes close to leveling, but Yuri Beiro makes it a brilliant last-ditch challenge. And that's half-time, apparently. Well, there's hardly been anything to report about at all, has there? Jonathan Mark says need massive changes at half-time.
In fact, let's get half-time from Sani Rudravajula at the Wham Stadium for Accrington versus Carlisle United.
Yeah, goalless at the break here. Not too much.
I mean, Kive was starting out very well, very positive. That first sort of 10 minutes, we were playing on the front foot, giving lots of pressure to Blackburn. And then we've just played like we played in the last few games. It's just gone back to that low block, sitting inside our half and counter-attacking, and it's just not working. Blackburn are going to score again here if we sit and play the same tactics in the second half.
Trying to get back into the game.
If the half-time whistle
well, the
blew
bench,
a couple of minutes ago, Burton would have been really satisfied.
You're back in 2 minutes, my bud.
Lefay, who can potentially change the game.
Ah, we've got the commentary back on at SAFC. Thank you.
Watching them, I wouldn't say they're not.
At last, I've only missed the first half.
But I think if Sunderland do bring on those stronger players, Sunderland will very much give them a game.
But then you're asking a bit of putting pressure on them players to come on and
yeah,
you know, all
that's
of a sudden
what they're there for, aren't they?
Well, all of a sudden flick a switch, and sometimes yeah, they've got the quality, but sometimes it doesn't happen.
Well, there's 45 minutes to go. Time to turn it round. There's only one goal.
Well, that's what they're saying. It's time to turn it round. There's only one goal.
Half, of course, on BBC Radio Newcastle and SAFC.com. At the break, it is Sunderland 0, Blackburn Rovers 1.
Well, there we go. We've got the audio commentary, but I'll leave it on there. Rosie says Watson has played fantastic. David says, is there a way back? Jacqueline says, well, what a load of rubbish. Came home from the beach for spent all day packing the boat wreckage out of the sea. We had a boat to go down 2 days ago. Kingfisher says, not a convincing performance. Please like and subscribe. Thanks, Kingfisher. Janet says, Sunderland have the best statistics. Obviously, that does not mean much. And Sean says, can't watch this crap. Second half, it's gone off. That's what Sean's saying. Tricia says, there you go, Cabby. Always go for the jugular. 9-1 of shots, and we're getting beat. Yeah, that's what happens when you didn't have a striker. I know, Tricia, it's only took us about 9 attempts to reply to Sunderland on Twitter. Heaven's sake.
Have you got it back on now, have you?
Aye, it's back on. Oh, dear. Rooster Corburn's in the house and he says, boring. Good to see you, Rooster. Everybody says it's boring. It's... What are you saying, Rich? Are you saying, let's just not get carried away, let's not panic again? It's all to do with the fact, like, job's done.
Aye, but I just didn't get why we're just playing the way we are, CABBIE. It's been like this for the past 3 or 4 games now. It's awful. It really is. I mean, it's just, I don't know what it is that's going on with it at the minute, but I'm honestly hoping that in the background he's got a plan for when we're going to the playoffs.
I mean, look, if if we play like this, carry on into the playoffs, right, and we get absolutely slaughtered, I mean, do you think the fans will be focusing on how shocking it's been, and will some fans be saying, "Oh, Regis Labrie, you need to go because it's just not good enough," or can we still reflect that the fact that if we have finished fourth, that has been a successful season? But some would say there's no difference between finishing fourth or finishing seventh or eighth off bottom. You didn't get anywhere. You don't get anything for it. There's only one result in the championship, and that's the top three. The top three, meaning the top two go up, and the third one from the playoffs. What do you reckon, Richie? What do you think?
Yeah, like I've said to you before, I can see why people are annoyed and worried. I mean, I'm getting a little bit worried now with these performances, to be fair. Because it's just shocking. It's just, there's no ambition to win the games at the minute. But that's the thing, like I said to you earlier, Cabby, you don't know what's going on in the background. You don't know what Speakman and Reggie and all them are deciding what to do with the rest of the games until the playoffs. Is it just sort of like just getting the energy into them, just have a go, you know what I mean? But why we're not playing without the chains on, if you get what I mean? Why is he not letting the players go out there and say, just go and express yourself, show us what you've got, you know what I mean? Go out there and do something to let us take sort of like notice of you for playing in the playoffs. But there's nothing really. It's just the same old that we've been playing the last few games. And like I said to you just there, Cabby, it's starting to worry me a little bit now. Because let's be honest, some of those players out there now are going to be playing in the starting team that will play in the playoffs. Yes, we're missing one or two, but there's no excuse in my eyes. And Isidore really, in my eyes, he's going to have to start showing them what he's about. Because going 10 games without a goal is not going to give him confidence, and we don't need a striker playing up top who hasn't scored in 10 games. I can see Mayenda getting a nod in the playoffs, whether Isidore will be on the bench, but I'm not. I might sound a little bit harsh, but I'm not impressed by Isidore at all. Not one bit at the minute.
It is concerning, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's because what I'm worried about, Cabby, is where the goals are going to come from. Yes, we can break on teams really quickly and get the ball in their half and get it up to their box. But where's the finishing? Where's the clinical striker who's going to go in the end and you know what I mean, and punish opposition? I just don't see it at the minute. I'm
going to read what the social medias have been saying. Thoughts on the first half. Gary says, the only highlight for us is Harrison Jones. Great half for the young man. The rest's same old since we secured the playoffs. Whereas our so-called momentum, we need to step up in the second half. Andy Miller says, I'm not sure how Labrie thinks this is good planning going into the playoffs. Slow and off the pace. Blackburn one chance and they score. Lawrence says, being the much better team with a much changed squad, if Regis Labrie pulls it off in the playoffs, he'll be a genius. If he doesn't, then he'll have to answer his critics. Mark says, poor. Watson couldn't give a hoot. Ian says, confidence will be shot going into the playoffs. Paul says, very poor. Have they got their minds on the playoffs? Jones is having a decent game so far, says Josh. Graham says it's abysmal. Dave says a swear word. Bailey says, Watson and Anderson having a decent game. Winnie says it's pathetic. Will says, this is not a good build-up for the playoffs. He says, very poor. Carla says, crap, look lazy, I'm not interested. God help us in the playoffs. Aaron and David both swear. Brian Cummins says, better than last game in terms of performance, but not creating enough clear-cut chances as per. He says, losing concentration at the back as per usual and wasting set piece after set piece. A lot of unhappy Sunderland fans there, Richie. Is it
Sutton United
overreacting, do you think, there, or what?
Yeah, they've got fair points. Yeah, fair points. And you can tell the fan base is very anxious at the minute, you know what I mean? But I agree with, I don't know who said it, but if Reggie does if Reggie does pull it off in the playoffs, then he is going to be a genius, isn't he? But if he doesn't, we get imagine getting knocked out in the semis. And then I think that's when it's going to be like, right, however, we need some explanation here. Why were we were playing that way prior to the playoffs? Why we're not building momentum? That's the first thing that's going to be coming out.
The biggest clanger, Rich, is the absolute faff they've made on with the transfers. I mean, every Sunderland fan was saying we need to get a striker for that January transfer window. We signed a player from Liverpool with a fracture in his back, in his spine. I mean, the need to answer questions for that. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. We've gone into the second half of the season. We need striker. And that could come back and bite Sunderland up the backside. It really could. I'm just going to catch up on some of the chat as well. Colin Major, hello Colin, you alright mate? He says, they're not thinking of the fans at all. He says, have to pay a lot of money to watch this crap. To be honest, not bothered about promotion, not a Prem team. Kingfisher still says, saving players for the playoff. Sean says, for Tricia, I feel for the fans paying good money. I do agree. Mike Cassip, hello Mike, says, I want to know who's picking the side, Speakman or Labrie. Rosie Law says, we have the youngest squad and we are fourth on the table. It is better than last season and we have a lot of injuries. David Jackson said, there's no excuse for this. It's diabolical the last few weeks. Stephen Jones is correct. Isidore isn't a striker. Member of the channel, David Green, says, I reckon Regis Labrie has a plan for the playoffs. Time will tell. Stephen Jones says, been saying that for weeks and weeks. David Jackson, the plan is not to get promoted, believe me. Sean Russell says they have done it themselves when Stuart went. Isidore wasn't the answer. John 73, hello John, how are you mate? Good to see you. Hope you're well, Cabby. Watson has shown keenness probably to impress Brighton. I'm feeling concerned regarding the playoffs. NM says, when is the last time we had a striker? Probably since in the Ross Stewart days. Hall says, get Meander on, he's playing with confidence. And John says, I'm off to the vegetable patch to plant some potatoes. I'll tell you what, let us know the highlights, mate, how you do with that. That'll probably be more than what's happening at the stadium, I like. Friend of the channel, Fernie, Leeds fans, who'd be a very happy Leeds fan today. We needed a striker, but Pirot's got 4 already today. Yeah, you're going great guns. A little panic's over for you lot, Fernie. I think you'll be in the Premier League next season. Etienne says, Ross Stewart, but look where he is now. Hello to Jordan Stott. David Jackson says, I hate the Dodds, but look at the results since he's left. Colin Major says, if this doesn't work in the playoffs, it would be like all the good work through the season has wasted. Stephen Jones says, dislike Dodds as a manager, not as a coach. So that's caught up on the chat. That's all thick and fast in the chat. There's more going on in the chat than there is actually on the game itself. And I'm just going to go to the lavatory. But back in a sec, Rich. Don't worry, Richie, it'll soon be our.
No, it's painful, isn't it?
It shouldn't be like that, though, should it? It shouldn't be like that.
Seen somebody else say something as well, but I don't really read too much into it. Like somebody was saying that Labrie's not going to play his style of football like he wants to play in the playoffs before the playoffs, if you get what I mean. He's playing a style at the moment But then apparently he's going to change it in the playoffs, which I hope is true. I mean, there's all sorts of rumours and all sorts of opinions and things going around, and you can look into them and think, that's a point. But unless you know what's going on, if you're not an insider or a fly on the wall, then unfortunately all we can do is just guess. But it looks like it's chucking it down now. It's raining here as well. It might be a bit more greasy this second half for them, but we need massive improvement in the second half.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of rain heading over the northeast. I can see. And that's
7 balls he's faced.
Still not kicked off yet. Back to the chat. Fernie says, we'll be with you all supporting Sunderland in the playoffs. There's a lot of Leeds fans actually wanting Sunderland to get up. Cheers, Fernie. And well done this season, mate. You've got to say congratulations to Leeds. You cannot say congratulations to Leeds because they have well deserved it. David says, yeah, well done to Leeds, Fernie. You deserve it, mate. Sean says, Sunderland doesn't have the money for players in this league, never mind the Premier League, so they're just coasting till the end of the season. Tricia says, Fernie, every time I looked at my phone, Leeds have banged another one in. Half-time entertainment says up to Richie. Rosie says, I'm keeping the faith with Sunderland, win, lose or draw. Tricia says, how are Richie and all the rest? Let's sing I get knocked down but I get up again. Mike Cassip says, congratulations needed to Daniel Farker and the whole... I can't keep saying that because I'll get done for potential swear words. If every time you mention the Leeds manager, I get flagged up for swearing. So you can understand. Honestly, it's crazy. So I'm just going to say congratulations to Daniel and Leeds. And yes, Daniel's one of the best managers in all the leagues. Doug B, he says, if nothing else, MACKEM CABBIE has had a successful season. Cheers, Doug. Hey, big help as well from Richie as well. He's done a great job. And Davey. Yorkshire MACKEM. Anybody that's involved, really. And, of course, all you lot in the chat are just as important. Stephen Jones, he said, I'm at the age now where I realise more important things in football. It still hurts at time, though. It's in your blood, Stephen, isn't it? And David Green, a member, says, Howe, give us a win, please. Yeah, it would just feel a bit better, wouldn't it?
And Alexic's pass back.
And here we go, we've got the commentary
back
back on.
All the way back towards the touchline on the right to recover the ball from a bit of a sloppy pass from Milan Alexic. Now with O'Nien, forwards to Job on the halfway line on the left-hand side. Back to Luke O'Nien. The substitutes this afternoon are more Neil, Roberts, Rigg, Mayenda, Hjelde, Lefay, Bainbridge and Middlemas. As the ball played to Mepham and out on the right wing to Tommy Watson. Watson inside to Salis. And now back to Watson. Brown's ahead of him. Brown down that right touchline, trying to get the ball back into Watson. A battle between him and Ribeiro, who gets the ball away down that left-hand side, looking for Woodrow. It bounces into the Sunderland half, and eventually O'Nien gets it back to Anthony Patterson at the edge of the penalty area. It's passed out through the middle to Job. Job takes it up to the halfway line, and then lays it off on the left-hand side to Anderson. Anderson back inside to Job.
Trev says 1-0, why am I not surprised? I know.
Jones, back to O'Nien on the halfway
Recorded
line.
on Earth says, I think we'll get promoted and come straight back down and build a better squad in depth with the parachute payment. Hopefully I'm wrong though. We stay in the Premier League, I know.
Manages to keep it in on the touchline and gets it down to Alan Brown. Brown trying to find a way through in the middle, is blocked by Travis, and the referee's pulled the ball back. Pulled it back for a free kick to Sunderland on the right-hand side.
Tricia says, Doug, we're thankful for CABBIE streams, so we're winning on that one. Very kind words from people. Thank you very much.
Watson
and thank you, Tricia, for your donation as well the other day. It means such a lot. Thank you very much.
The assistant on the far side, Ellen Carney.
Jennifer Andrews, hello Jennifer, good to see you.
Kick, a wayward strike by Jones.
Going to keep an eye on Carlisle today, because if they do lose, they will be out of the Football League.
Blackburn in this second half.
Which would be a disaster, having two successful relegations after multi-millionaires took over the club, Americans called the Packers. So that'd be absolutely dreadful for them if it did.
Headed away again by Blackburn back into the Sunderland.
What league we're in at the minute? Is it League 2?
League 2I.
Picked up on the left by Anderson.
David Jackson says, if your likes were points, Cabby, we would have been promoted a long time ago. Cheers, mate.
Job rolling it across to MACKEM just inside the Blackburn Rovers half.
Simon says, when Liverpool win the league, is there a clause that Dan's, whilst on loan, will be prevented from lifting the trophy in case he gets a slip disc in his back?
Trying to get out. And the ball played up onto the halfway line and out.
Richie, how we're looking second half? Give us an update, mate.
A little bit more brighter. Not too great though, a little bit brighter. We're playing in their half at the minute, passing the ball around a little bit.
Isidore. Anderson here on the right,
again,
on the left, just in front of.
They're just winning the ball back from us. As soon as we get into their sort of like final third near the 18-yard box, that's it. They're winning the balls back and just moving it up the pitch. So it's kind of sort of like a bit of a repeat from the first half. Alexic played an absolute awful ball to Chris MACKEM. A terrible pass to him, like.
Really?
Yeah.
To the Blackburn Rovers penalty area on the left. Headed out, Hull 1, Preston 1. Throw quickly taken by Alexic to Anderson.
Job seems to be getting in the game a little bit more than what he was in the first half. It's a little bit early on at the minute.
Win it again on the left-hand side.
Little bit of a better start, but
15 minutes. I think so. I think on the hour mark, don't you? It tends to be the pattern. Blackburn leading 1-0. We're in the 51st minute now. And while we keep talking about what's happening at the top of the table, of course, Hull and Derby, Luton, Cardiff and Plymouth all fighting for their lives.
Yeah, Luton are 1-0 up.
Derby at the moment beating West Bromwich.
So Hull could be going down. They're just on level points.
Luton on 44. So at the moment, there's the bottom three. Are the bottom three, or will be the bottom three.
How many games we've got after this?
2 more games, mate. 2 more games.
The difference is so vastly worse than everyone else about them. They're going to find it's almost an extra point they need to dig themselves out of trouble. Here's
away to Oxford.
To Job, who's tripped in the edge of the centre circle by Woodrow. It's now Luton 1, Bristol City 0. Here is Alexic. He's blocked though. He's trying to win the ball back.
Seems Blackburn are just breaking up play every single time we're getting it.
Across here on the right to Britain. Now Travis in the middle.
Trying to build a little bit of momentum
on the halfway line. MACKEM wins it back, gets it back to Anderson. Anderson drives it at Hashi. It'll come back to Anderson on the left-hand side, and the ball rolls out for a throw to Sunderland. So we would be, as we were, if both Bristol City and Coventry lose. The only difference, of course, being if Sunderland lose as well. I think what with 2 games left, they would be assured of 4th place. Here now is Salis.
Well, it's getting very scrappy again, Lloyd.
I can just imagine it.
Looking for the run of Job down to the goal line, but the defender holds him off, and the ball rolls behind for the goal kick to Blackburn Rovers. Job jogging back. Balats Toff, the Hungarian keeper, all in bright fluorescent yellow away to our left at the foot of the north stand. And Toff kicking his heels against the foot of the left-hand post. Up to the halfway line. As Sunderland win it back. Alexic.
Luke Monroe says Stephen. Derek Rigby says we have no chance in the Prem if we go.
Win it again. Britain inside to Tronstad.
Tricia says, look, we've got 11 men today, so that's a start.
Watson now on the right-hand side to Brown. Brown cutting back inside, into the middle of the Blackburn half. Job just outside the penalty area, outside the D, leaves it again for Brown, and now Watson back inside again to Brown. Luton 1, Bristol City 1, and the ball drops here for Jones, and Job just behind him, out on the right. The ball
with extra
swept
money
in
and a
by Brown,
strikeout,
and just off the head of Harrison Jones.
we might do well
And
in the Premier League,
goalkeeper
says
falls on the
Janet.
ball down to his right.
50 years of hurt, says David Jackson. Stephen Jones says, not sure Isidore counts as a whole player.
So Tyree Stolen still
We are a last
between the two
10-minute
teams. His
team.
goal in the 33rd minute. Kick from
Stephen Martin says
towards
150
Hashi,
million
comes down
we'll
there for
have to spend
Brown
if we
inside to
went up.
Salis in the centre circle. He goes on after one attempt to get the ball off him. He's got
Ian
an
Beckford
advantage
says,
from the
before
referee,
today's
James
games,
Bell.
Pirro had gone
Out to
9 games
Job
without
on the
scoring,
left-hand
now he
side.
gets 4 in
Alexic
one game.
Back to Anderson, to Job again, inside to Salis, and he's caught by Ohashi.
Jonathan Mark says,
Free kick
please
to
get
Sunderland,
Alesic
just to the
off.
left of the centre circle.
Colin says,
he's been a bit
Jones,
more like
Watson, Abdul Alesic lost for words at how this manager actually watches these and thinks these will start for Sunderland.
Jones again on
Tricia
that
says,
right-hand
Stephen,
side,
we need to keep
inside to
positive,
Salis,
even
back
if it
to
seems a waste of
Mepham,
time.
9 in the centre circle, right through the middle to Isidore, who finds Salis behind him. Nice ball now to Watson in the penalty area, drives the ball across the 6-yard box. And a sprint
Dougie
to
says,
keep
I've
it in
said
for
before,
Anderson,
the
but he
A
can't.
in SAFC stands for anxiety.
On the
Simon says, Bristol
Blackburn
City could
right.
fall out the top 6 come the end of the season should they lose today. Well, they have just equalised. Colin said, this is painful. This is absolutely painful.
Yeah.
Players are shocking, manager is terrible, needs to go. Sub for goodness sake. Yet Baz Mundy, Bristol have scored. Colin says Jones wouldn't get a game for Southwick on a Sunday. Watson should be ballet dancing.
Rolling it to Watson. Sally's much more involved in the second half than he was in the first. The ball played in
He's
against
been
the
playing
penalty
Liverpool ball
area.
in the box there, Watson, nobody on the end of
Eastore's
it.
got it on the goal line on the left of the penalty area. Plays it back to Watson.
David,
on the left.
I thought
He
third
tries a
played
shot,
5th
it's
and
blocked,
4th
comes
played
back
6th
out
in
to
the playoffs. Is that wrong?
Alexis now looks up with his right.
It's the middle
Dinks it
section.
in, and the ball headed just
3rd
over
and
by
5th
Isidore.
each other, and 4 and 6. Yes,
Tried
that's
to
right.
head it over the keeper. Difficult to do. Just over the bar.
Difficult there. Header for Wilson Isidore there.
It's the middle. Sorry, it's the middle section.
Not far over.
Third place 6th and 4th.
Third plays 6th and 4th plays 5th. Simon says, how's Samed doing today? Is he on par with Barr? Do you think has Samed had a good game, Richie?
Warming up as yet.
Nah, not really. Haven't really seen much from him. I mean, he's getting stuck in and maybe he's once or twice into a couple of tackles, but nothing spectacular from him today.
Throw to Sunderland.
Tricia says, I don't think Regis Debris is a manager for us. He says, we need to find somewhere else. Sheffield Wednesday have equalised against Middlesbrough. David Green, the member, says, better now. How are the lads?
Anderson on this
David Jackson says, I've had my rant now. Come on, Sunderland. Get the subs on, says Janet. Jonathan Mark says, fully agree. Colin is absolutely clueless. God knows what he's watching when we play because he can't watch what's happening on the pitch. NM says, we've started well here. Kyle Q says, but the players he has are not his. Colin says, therefore Jonathan Mate is shocking. His management is shocking. Abdul Elisic, how can a manager watch this and actually play them?
As Sheffield Wednesday won
A lot of frustrated fans out there at the minute, Richie.
On halfway, and O'Nien
I don't blame them.
I
don't blame them at all. I think everybody's getting a bit nervous now on.
2-0 down at home to Swansea now. Change being made by Blackburn, an interesting one.
So as it stands, Coventry are back in the playoffs. And Sunderland will be playing Bristol City in the playoffs.
Under 21s
Middlesbrough 2 points behind Coventry.
By Valerian Ismail.
Sheffield United Coventry in the playoffs. That'll be tasty, won't it?
Over Isidore's head and will go
Wouldn't it, aye.
on the far side.
Definitely.
So Christy Montgomery waits on the
John 73 says, overall, SAFC have had an excellent season, just playing now for fitness in the playoffs. He says, keep your hearts up.
So I wonder if Callum Britton's got
picked up a knock.
But
Still a
it's
bit
interesting they're bringing
disheartening
on
when we're seeing this week
a
after
young
week.
midfielder. They've got the likes of Dion.
You don't want to see
Sanderson
your team
who
losing.
play.
It doesn't matter what's at stake. You don't want to see your team losing. You wouldn't be a fan otherwise, would you?
Fleetwood won.
Oh, exactly, mate. Even in like pre-season games, you still don't want to lose, even though it's pre-season. You know what I mean?
Waiting for a throw for Blackburn.
And on the poll, 175 people have voted. 56% say win, 26% say lose, 18% say a draw. So still a lot of optimistic people up there.
On the far side, free kick to Blackburn Rovers.
And cheers for the 62 likes. Let's see if we can get to 100. Thank you, and hit the subscribe button if you're new. Thank you very much.
Ribeiro, I think it is, back to Danny Bart. Bart across.
Thanks for the subscriber. Cheers. 197 subscribers needed to hit 4,000 subscribers.
Up to Dolan. Dolan gets it again from Tronstad. He's fouled by
Simon says Hull have equalised. Yep.
He appeals to the referee that he played the ball. The referee's having none of that. Free kick to Blackburn. Dolan sitting on the
with people saying they would bring subs on, who would you bring on? That's the question.
I know. Hull have equalised. Jack Reed says, just wanted to see a good performance today, but you know, Luton back in front, said Stephen Jones. Will they come back, says Eva.
Chris Rigg is one of the substitutes. I think there's 4 now.
Oh, that's unlucky there.
Kyle Q says the player he has can't play his tactics and better than Beale and getting rid of manager all the time, where that got us nowhere. Got to give people time.
As well.
Yeah.
You've got to give Regis Sabri another chance next season if we don't make it in the playoffs, haven't you? Surely.
At the top end of the table.
You have to, yeah, of course you do.
Dolan getting treatment then.
It's like they're doing a bit of planning there on the bench. It's just got a shot over to Labrie and his coaching staff there.
Who are on 42 points.
Sending a few people out by the looks of it.
Luton on 43, Derby 43, Hull on 45.
David Jackson says it's as bad as the end of last season. Luton have scored again, yeah, they have, Baz. Jonathan says he's had time, he's taken us backwards. Keep him and we'll end up back in League One. He has no tactics and plan B.
Now Luton 2, Bristol City 1. Both.
It's
Bristol
just
City
constantly
and Coventry
changing.
Losing at the moment. Sure,
I genuinely think, oh, Cabby, it's just our finishing.
I know.
It's just
lots of
plenty of balls getting whipped in the box. There's just nobody on the end of them. That's the problem.
Same story, innit? No, Middlesbrough be frustrated at the moment, Richie, because Coventry, Bristol, and of course us are all losing.
Well, certainly the Fay, I think.
No, they can't catch Sunderland and really Bristol. Well, possibly they could, yeah, except they can.
Back underway.
So Bristol and Middlesbrough be really wanting to get that goal to be in the lead, because Coventry, Bristol City both losing.
Here on the right-hand side with Alan Brown to Watson on the touchline.
Luton back on level points
again to Jones
with Hull.
Inside to Watson in the middle. Ricochets off, but it comes back to Danny Bart.
Let's not forget, we haven't got fourth place yet. We haven't cemented it yet. We're in the playoffs, that's definitely.
If Bristol City lose today, then we have, I think.
And Alexic inside to Job.
Yeah.
Job slips it into Watson in the penalty area. Players all around him in blue and white. He can't dig it out, and he rolls it out for a corner kick. It came just off a defender's toe.
Could he have shot earlier? Get his shot away earlier.
Can't see who it is though.
The corner on the right.
Good build up again.
There could be a triple, so I think.
I mean, there's 2 games left. If Bristol City win their 2 games, 8, 9, 70, they will only be able to finish on 73 points, and we're already on 76. So if it stays the same, nobody can catch Sunderland in 4th.
Plenty of red and white shirts
right,
up
okay,
inside the penalty
but
area.
things can change. There's going to be a lot of twists and turns.
Curls it right over the penalty area. O'Nien heads it back down to Salis, who sort of runs over the ball.
But is there going to be any twists and turns at the Stadium of Light? Is there any sign of a goal, Richie? What's going on?
Into the centre circle, looking for Dolan.
Nothing, mate. It's just the same story as the first half. We've got a corner here now.
Got the ball away eventually.
I don't know if you've already heard that.
Side to Alan Brown. Brown running at the penalty area. Slips it here to Alexic. Tees up a right foot shot. Took too much time off it. And in the end, it was blocked and spins up back into the hands of the goalkeeper. He needed to strike it first time, but I don't think he had the confidence to just hit it. Harrogate 2, Fleetwood 1. Change of
by Watson,
a triple substitution, I think.
Cheers for the subscriber, thank you.
Lefay and Mienda are going to come on by the looks of things for Sunderland. Certainly Rigg and Mienda. Blackburn lead 1-0. We're in the 60.
If anybody wants any football this evening,
now.
Tottenham are playing against Nottingham Forest in the Premier League, and Forest will be hoping to get a win to put themselves back into a Champions League position. They've lost the last two, Nottingham Forest, as well.
The edge of the penalty area, Woodrow, who's tackled
Watch out, the
by
mud's
O'Neill,
getting
leaves
hammered.
it for Alexic, who plays it inside to Job, who's played it away down the left there. Lovely pass to Alexic. Alexic now has got to get past Montgomery, crosses into the penalty area, little back heel, and comes back to Isidore, who drags his shot wide. Only by a foot or so, the foot of the left post.
Well done,
but a nice move.
Leeds have scored a 6th
and
goal.
triple substitution now about to be made by Sunderland.
Unbelievable.
So who is coming off?
That's the difference between us and Leeds. They can finish their chances.
The first is Jones.
Hello to Ian Curry. You alright, mate? Good to see you. Hope you're well. Losing again, I see. Going down with a whimper. Watford down to 10 men, says Simon. Forest fans living the dream right now, Trev. I don't think Milesic is going to be here next season, mind Rich. By the sounds of it.
Amazing goal at Ashton Gate, and Solis is coming off for Lafayette.
Enzo Lafayette, however.
As I was come on, as if my screen's all there.
I think Solis has had a better second half than first.
Has he come on for?
Involved in the game in the second half.
Meander and Riggs coming on.
But now Lafay is on. Presumably,
so he's actually going to try and go
Joe will play the Dan Neil role, won't he? And Lafay, number 8.
Yeah, Meyender's gone on the right-hand side. Watson's come on this left-hand side. Isidore is playing as the out-and-out striker.
Yeah. Kick from Toff, headed on.
David Jackson says, I'd rather win like this than blood money like the Mags.
Stoke City 0 now.
Plymouth 3, Coventry 1.
Hey, we wouldn't be complaining, would we, if we were third in the Premier League? Seriously, we wouldn't, would we?
City and Coventry both losing. I did this sort of suspected before.
Really my end
difficult games for Coventry and Bristol City.
Plymouth 3. That's just nuts. How come Coventry played like they did against us, and they're getting beat like 3-1 against Plymouth? Unbelievable, this game, football, isn't it?
Joe wearing the captain's armband now.
Truth.
The ball with Joe. Here he is trying to push it forwards, but he's showed a little bit too much of it to Travis. The ball breaks.
Oh, Burnley, Colin. Yes, they're live on ITV tonight. Of course they are.
By him so far.
Good free kick.
And now Watson penalised. Yeah. Travis isn't very happy. He's motioning with his right.
Got 199 people on the chat. Welcome all.
Studs at the Blackburn player. The referee's called Watson.
ELS says 4 misses for Isidore. That's not good enough, is it? Just goes to show you, 09 never gets rested. He's steady and bulletproof with no frills.
And the referee James Bell.
He's like a hyper dog, isn't he?
He is, aye.
Bundles energy. 09, isn't he?
He's blown because he's pointing back.
So it looks like Tommy Watson's come over at the left and Meyender's gone on to the right.
Travis.
And then obviously Lafayette before Isidore.
Watson's walked away, but Travis, he's refusing to walk all the way. James Bell's coming to him now, and Danny Bart's had a word, but Lewis Travis.
Keith Lupton says, we already know we are crap at penalties. We need to start scoring 3 or 4 goals a game so we don't have to worry about it. 204 now watching, David. Yeah, that's fantastic. Cheers for everybody tuning in. Oh, and Accrington and Stanley have scored against Carlisle. That means, as it stands, Carlisle will be out of the Football League. And I'm sure Nick Barnes will mention that any minute now, because he's got a soft spot for Carlisle. He used to commentate
headed
for
on by Travis, headed out by Lafay. Throw then just in front of the Blackburn Rovers technical area, which will be taken by Montgomery.
I wonder what Davey thinks of this, says Colin.
Dean Whitehead, I think it is, in conversation with Levy and Ishmael. Hull 2, Preston 1. Ball comes back to Hyam, back again to Bart, and Bart back to the goalkeeper. Sunderland still in search of an equaliser in this game. Isidore goes to close Toff down. The kick up over the halfway line. Headed down for Meyenda, who can't quite keep it in on the far side. And a throw to Blackburn Rovers. Back it goes to Danny Bart. Bart back to Toth. And Toth closed down by Isidore. Back to Bart. Closed down on the far side by Chris Rigg, but he gets the ball away up to the halfway line, where it's headed on by Mepham. And back it comes to Luke O'Nien. Luke O'Nien.
William Andrews says, don't know how we are fourth looking at this shower.
Anderson just
in case, love the name. What's the point? Playoffs don't make me laugh. Next season we have Southampton, Leicester and Ipswich to contend with, and our best players down the road.
Right wing to Alan Brown. It goes out off.
You're going to have that every single season, though, aren't you? You're going to always have the teams coming down from the Premier League.
By the looks of things, it's going to get on the end of if he can. And eventually back to Anderson.
We'll be playing Jack Hart again.
Left-hand side to Lefay. Lefay now looking to cut back in the middle, but a little reverse ball, looking for Isidore in the penalty area, and it will come back out.
Well done.
For a throw to Sunderland. Accrington Stanley 1, Carlisle 0. Could be curtains for Carlisle in the Football League if they lose at Accrington. Here's Job on the left, trying to get away from Tronstad. Gets the ball back calmly to Mepham, trying to get it onto Rigg, and it's just walloped away by Travis, all the way back up to Patterson.
Dougie says, not enjoying the game at all, just no spark. David Jackson, is there any paint you want watched? From Tartan one, David. Janet, according to the stats, Sunderland are the better team. Needs some luck. Patricia says, Davey will stand by what he said. We will thrash the playoffs. I hope he's right. Simon says, Borough regret missing that pen. Coventry v Borough last game will be interesting. Oh, will it just?
Sunderland's 10th corner. Lefay has come down to take it with Watson. Just back down the touchline. Enzo Lefay then. Bodies arriving in the penalty area, including Chris Mepham. It's taken short to Watson. Watson closed down by Dolan, puts the ball into the penalty area, headed out by Ohashi. Anderson plays it out again to Lefay on the left wing, who goes round Dolan, edge of the area. He's got blue and white shirts in front of him. He's got to try and find a way through. Comes back to Mepham in the middle. Now Rigg, just to the right of midfield. Plays it across to Anderson on the left-hand side. And Anderson wide again to the corner of the penalty area. Watson just turns on a little bit of pace, plays the ball back into the penalty area, but is blocked, then cleared by Montgomery down this right-hand side. And in the end, played back to O'Nien off Woodrow to Patterson. So Sunderland trying to turn the screw here, 71st minute, and try and find an equaliser. The ball swept into the penalty area from the far side by Joe, but it's cleared again by Blackburn, and Patterson comes all the way up to the centre circle. Lays it off now to Anderson. Anderson curls one up into the penalty area. Ribeiro heads it down. Travis hooks it out on that left-hand side now, looking to break down the left wing, and it's one back out, knocked out by Sunderland.
How we're looking, Rich?
By Chris Rigg for a throw to Blackburn.
Yeah, again, I would have Meander as an out-and-out striker than Isidore. I just think that, you know, his retention off the ball is a lot.
Think we're going to score, Rich?
Yeah, he does. You know,
I can't see it. No, unless we're going to get lucky.
The ball comes back to Mepham. Has to be quick to get it away from Ohashi. Joe back to Mepham.
It seems like every single time we get into the final third, we get near sort of like the 18-yard box, we lose the ball, and that's happened all game. Just winning the ball every single time we go forward. Blackburn haven't really done much, to be honest, so far this second half.
To the left, out here to Anderson, crashes off Dolan for a throw to Sunderland. I think it is raining here now. We're talking about the rain at half time. The players look soaked. The rain has arrived in Sunderland.
These long balls that we're playing into the box are absolutely useless. We're doing it every single time. Seems like it's like balls are coming from our defenders. And we just sort of like playing a direct ball, trying to catch up with the defence. Obviously, to see if we can get Isidore to run on them. It's just not working.
Who is he hauling out here?
We've done it loads of times.
Not Travis again, surely. I think it's Travis who's hurt, is kneeling on the pitch.
There's an unwritten rule in football, Cabbie, where you've got to play your strengths of your striker, and I don't think we're using those strengths by launching balls into the box like that.
Hedges, I think. sure that's Hedges just
Yeah.
been shown the yellow card.
David says, we're playing well at the minute, give a goal or two. Come on, son, and get us a point, says Kingfisher. Jack says it's sure it is, like watching paint dry. However, lads, please score and give us a goal.
Sanderson's coming on.
Says Trisha.
Right.
Simon says, anyone think we're putting other playoff teams, giving them a false narrative?
At the time, I think that Sunderland would have liked to have signed him, wouldn't they?
Dear.
But that didn't happen. QPR 1, Swansea 2.
But we're not going to do anything in the playoffs if we play like this, are we? That's all we can say.
3, Norwich 1.
Not by sitting in a low block and counter attacking.
Substitutions, are they going to be made before the free kick? It looks like they are.
Every single time we get in their final third, probably, we're just losing the ball. It's happened all game.
Coming off. And Forshaw coming on. So, Dolan.
Doug B, is this what they call making a statement going into the playoffs?
West Brom 1, Derby 2. I think Ohashi's going to come off, isn't he, for Gay?
Yes. And Adam Forshaw's going on.
Yeah.
Ohashi, yeah.
And Dion Sanderson.
What happened to this rule where you have to go off?
Luton 3.
Well, they're meant to, aren't they? No, the referees.
Are they 3-1 up against Bristol City?
Because Dolan could have gone off on the far side. Hedges is
Hasn't
coming
popped
off.
up on my finger, like.
Dion Sanderson. Looks like they're just going to shore things up at 1-0, aren't they?
Yeah.
Norman says, yep, a good performance by Sunderland again, thumbs down. What's going on? We're going to lose all the games coming up.
Patrick Roberts is going to come on.
Janet says, it won't be the same team in the playoffs. She says, we can do it. David says, yes, Janet. Michael Atkinson says, just shows you when the intensity drops, even just 10%, you struggle to score and win games. As soon as top 2 was out, we've struggled, just like end of last season.
Teasingly, it's punched out by the goalkeeper. It'll come out to Chris Rigg. Now, what happened in the penalty area? Something happened. There was a big roar, and the ball played up towards Mayenda. It's headed out to the left of the penalty area. Blackburn trying to clear, and then one back. There's a foot in, and the ball played in from the far side by Job, I think it was, and now out to Lefay, lays it off. Job back to Mepham trying to get forward. It was Isidore actually played it. Blackburn win the ball back in their midfield.
Enthusiasm in them, you know what I mean?
I know.
Down the left wing, and is that Forshaw who's just come on, who's run onto that, played back eventually to the halfway line and back into Danny.
So Millwall are catching up again. They're 3-1 up.
In the 76th minute, Sunderland 0, Blackburn Rovers 1.
Don't forget they lost 4-1 against Blackburn. So Millwall are on 63 points. They're a point behind Middlesbrough in 7th and 3 points behind Coventry. They're having a dreadful day,
the 3 scores were to remain
as well as a dreadful day for Bristol City.
Sunderland will be assured of.
Patrick Roberts is getting ready. Come on.
Through to Mayenda in the D, onto his left, but Sanderson makes a block. Watson trying to get it.
Does that mean he might take Watson off and
it
put
away,
Mayenda
back
on
in
the
again
left,
by
maybe?
Anderson. And it will roll away over on that far side to Brown, who pulls it back now to Chris Rigg. Rigg crosses, looking for Anderson, who heads it down, headed away by Bart. Now O'Nien trying to get on the end of it and plays it back to Lefay. Lefay.
Robbins has morphed into Lampard. Well, Simon, they were saying them they should never have got rid of Robbins.
Looks fair, but Mayenda off the post on the left. It's a goal kick. Job threw himself in there as well. Yeah, Job, I think it was who threw himself.
Sunderland, the club that keeps on giving, says Ferret.
You think Isidore and Mayenda will go up front?
I reckon Wilson Isidore's going to come off now. Watson's coming off.
I think we might take Watson off and put Mayenda on the left. I would put Isidore on the left, put Roberts on the right, and Mayenda down the middle. That's what I would do. But
Roberts on then. Still 1-0 to Blackburn.
Susan says, what about the morale of the poor supporters? No chance in the playoffs.
Mayenda is going to come and play on this left-hand side. Get him and play.
Save Mayenda from injury, says Janet. ALS says Lefay is a class act. He says pity about the rest. How's Lefay done, Richie?
Anyway.
Done all right. He's played a few balls. He's starting to sort of like orchestrate it a little bit now.
Stay in his seats, of course, aimed at whipping everybody up to stand up, and I think they've got
just
wise
had a
to
massive
that now.
effort there.
Here now,
yeah, he's starting to come
on
into
the
the game a
left-hand
little
side,
bit more.
out to Anderson on the halfway line, slips it back inside to Lefay, along the halfway line to Job. Job out on the right to Alan Brown. Roberts is ahead of
Bong,
him.
alright,
Brown's
Bong, how we
taking
doing?
this
Says alright, Cabbie and
on
Richie,
down
how
the
we doing,
right-hand
lads? We're
side.
alright, mate. Not too
Roberts just
bad.
cutting round to the left of him, but he pushes it on to Rigg.
There's
Back to
boxing off for Roberts.
And Roberts now twists and gets the ball back to
I hate
Job.
these games on a bank holiday
Down the
Monday
right
because I'm
again
thinking, oh, it's
here
Saturday, I'm not
to
working
Chris Rigg.
tomorrow.
Rigg on his
But I
left,
am,
short
it's Monday.
pass to Roberts. Corner of the penalty area. Slips it to Lefay. Back to Roberts, who goes over. And Blackburn come away with the ball.
Get the
One
wheels
back by
from radar on,
Lefay,
says
and then
Sean.
just hammered away by Dion Sanderson. All the way back
Dougie
to
says, before the coach came in, we were playing attacking football. As soon as he came in, we've become more defensive.
Job now through the centre
Didn't
circle,
at the
plays
start
it to
of
his
the
left
season.
to Anderson.
Playing
Just
really
over
good
10
football,
minutes
and
of
was
the
it?
normal of the
Yeah,
90
he was
left,
here at
but
the
there'll be
start,
added
wasn't he?
time. Meander wide on the left, battling, trying to keep hold of it. Tronstad's cut across the
I think
face
it's
of him, comes away
think
with the ball, finds Gay.
it's input from someone else.
Gay
I think
has
that's what
just
it
laid
is
it
at
off
the
to
minute.
Tronstad again. Job intercepts, but
Like speaking
Woodrow
maybe
will run
getting
back
involved
onto
with
it
it.
for Blackburn Rovers. Back to Dion Sanderson, who's on loan from Birmingham City. Dion Sanderson through to Woodrow, lays it off here. Woodrow on the well, he's trying to get it forwards again to Forshaw, but it's won by Anderson to Job to Roberts in the middle, just in front of the centre circle, and then lays it off to Lefay on this left-hand side in midfield, into the middle. Chris Rigg. Roberts is ahead of him. Wide is Brown. Brown now back inside to Patrick Roberts, and Patrick Roberts dribbling to the corner of the penalty area, into the penalty area, crosses, headed out though by Bart, comes back out to Rigg. Rigg slips it to Job.
West Brom pulled the goal back, yeah.
By Woodrow, finds Anderson, wide on the left is Meander, and Meander now trying to cut away from Montgomery, holds him off, plays it straight into the path though of Travis, who's looking for Gay, down the right. Meppem's come across, the Senegalese is trying to come round the back of Meppem. Penalty area, edge of the penalty area.
Definitely not sitting back as deep as
No,
what
no,
they were in
no.
the first half.
Comes out to Forshaw.
Cheers for the
Inside
subscriber,
then
thank you.
To Tronstad, back to Adam Forshaw on this right-hand side, and back to Montgomery, inside again to Tronstad, forwards to Forshaw, and Forshaw gets a big shove in the back from Anderson.
Play on.
Referee hasn't stopped play. Meander tried to slip the ball inside, but intercepted by Adam Forshaw. One now by Rigg. Rigg getting pulled down by Forshaw, and it's a free kick. And there's a bit of scuffling breaking out here, a lot of pushing and shoving. 6, 7, 8 players involved now. There's a huddle of players pushing, shoving, and getting involved unnecessarily. Referee just standing back out of it all. And referee's now blown. The players have pulled themselves apart.
Come on, Paddy Roberts, says ALS. Simon says Isidore should be a double glazed window salesman.
You know.
Go on, Rigg, at least he's got a bit of fire in his belly, says Jonathan. Dougie says fight, fight, fight. A bit of
They're
excitement.
both, I think, going to be booked here. Rigg and Forshaw.
Hello to the 232 people tuning in. You're listening to Richie and the MACKEM CABBIE doing the live watch along on this another disappointing afternoon for Sunderland. Michael Atkinson says, oh, the strange thing is, after last season, we would have taken the playoffs, just my last since we were safe from top 4. I know.
Job's in the middle, Woodrow's still down, Riggs trying to loop one up for Isidore, but straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. Still 1-0.
I've never seen Chris Rigg like that before, mate.
No.
That's what you're going to get out of this game, Nick. You know, we're going to talk
Can
about
we
the
flick a
positives
switch?
and the
Switch,
negatives.
says
and,
Michael. Well, we'll have
you
to.
know, we
We've
talk
got no
about
choice.
momentum going into the playoffs and what you...
Richie Renwick says another dire
starting 11's
performance,
going
losing
to be
faith, and
or
we
near
just
what
every
it's gonna be.
performance worse than the last pub teams performed better
You know,
than
you
Sunderland.
just can't, you
Do
know,
with him in
I know
charge.
we had quality on the bench, but you can't just bring him on and expect him to turn the game around.
No, but they are at least having a go.
Oh, they're having a go.
We don't need this. We don't need players losing their heads like this.
Brown back into the Blackburn half, back to Toff, the goalkeeper.
Let's see if we can get to 100 likes. Got
Down,
219 in the channel
away
watching.
towards the
Hit the
left.
subscribe if
Down
you're new to
inside,
the channel as
by
well.
Job.
Thank you.
Job now to Anderson. Anderson.
Time's running out though.
Side. Wide to Mienda. Mienda trying to get around Montgomery. In comes sliding Hyam. Gets the ball to Montgomery. Sliding in is Lefay this time. Wins the ball. It's with Job. Job looking here for Brown, but
as it stands, says Keith Lupton, Leeds are 7 goals better than us
on the left.
on the day.
Another change being made by Blackburn Rovers.
Rig doing that to get noticed as he goes missing otherwise. Jack says, I said Simon, Jack says, been better since the subs. Time running out though for an equaliser. Come on, give my like, says Keith.
Who's 17 years old.
You think we'll get that equaliser, Rich?
No, I can't see it. Sorry to be negative, like, but I can't see what's going to be at all.
30 years old.
We have been a lot more positive since we have made those changes, but no, I can't see Cabby.
Tyjon, born in Southport, incidentally, and he's a striker.
How do you feel going into the playoffs, Rich, with this form?
That's 5 changes made by
this,
Blackburn Rovers.
I will admit that's a little bit worried.
Since the 33rd minute, 40,
because I thought it might have just been a little bit of a blip, but it seems that it's not.
This afternoon, or the posted attendance, as the ball comes back to Patterson.
I just hope he's got I really do hope he's got
the left-hand side now to
better
Anderson.
tactics and a better sort of mentality for the playoffs than what we are doing at the moment.
Now trying to get around Montgomery, holds him off, edge of the area, crosses towards the far post, bounces away.
I don't know how you feel, Cabby, but I'm starting to get worried.
Nice ball.
And I know, like David was saying, I know it's terrible at the minute, and you know we're going to fire up in the playoffs, but I can't help the way I feel at the minute. It's just, it's not what I want to see as a Sunderland fan.
ELS has just said ELS has just said missing Cirkin down the left. Look, from a Sunderland fan, of course it's concerning because the last few results, it's not going to give any Sunderland fan confidence. I don't care what anybody says. But look at Middlesbrough, look at Coventry, look at Bristol City. They're doing bad at the minute. I don't know. Playoffs with this team, no chance. Playoffs when all injured players back, good chance, says Janet. I'm crapping myself for the playoffs, says Janet. Says Tricia. Cirkin always gives 100%, says Jack. Jonathan says we are going to be the team everyone wants to play in the playoffs, says John.
Midfield, halfway inside the Blackburn Rovers half. Roberts comes across.
You can see some of the heads they're getting. Some of the players, I mean, Mienda, Ricky, Isidore,
centre circle.
you can tell the heads are dropping today. They seem to be very frustrated.
And Roberts whips it in with his left. It's,
I just don't see the sense. Mienda's on form and scoring goals. Why is he playing him down the left? Isidore's done absolutely nothing today, but yet still up top.
Rig curls
into
the penalty area. And
it's annoying, like.
And
I do genuinely believe Isidore has a better game on the left.
And it comes out to Lefay. Now Roberts on the left, crosses again, blocked again.
I don't think we've even come close second half, have we?
Here, but a challenge by Anderson. Lefay now trying to get
it's the same thing, repetitive thing, why the handle shot has gone straight our, or we're getting Paul turned over.
Tricia says they're not giving us anything to hang on to, Richie. Simon says we've only had a decent 11 and those will be playing in the playoffs. Michael says my selection for playoffs will be Pat O'Hume, Meffam, 09, Cirkin, Neil, Job, Lefay, Roberts, Mienda, Mundle. So he would like to leave Isidore out.
The goalkeeper being urged to come out and take.
That's if Mundle comes back, if he's going to be.
That's if Mundle does come back.
Just back inside the Blackburn Rovers half.
Letting the wife treat me for coffee after this. Says Doug. Dave Harris says, stay calm. These games are like pre-season games. I'm confident when the time comes, we will up our game.
Kicks down the right-hand side.
I hope so, mate. Yeah, I hope that is right.
Corner, controls the ball and comes back into the penalty area and plays it across to
well, let's be honest here. We've got a lot of the starting players out there right now. We still can't do anything.
Brown and Roberts just ahead.
Carlisle United have got 5 minutes left to in the Football League to get an equaliser.
Blackburn trying to get it to Gay right on the touchline on the left-hand side. It goes out for a throw to.
So do we want Borough to win today, says Bong? Well, if you want them in the playoffs and not Coventry, perhaps, yeah.
Leading through the Tyrese Dolan goal in the 33rd minute.
I would much rather play Coventry over 2 legs than play them in the final, Cabby.
Oh, God.
East stand. A lot of people now starting to leave, feeling the game's up.
The same with Borough.
It's played back to Bart. Bart, outside his penalty area, pushes it back to the
fans have not been entertained today, like, have they?
Up through the middle.
No,
Up goes Job, heads it back behind.
Pretty much same old, really.
Anthony Patterson, who
a bit of an
improved
improved performance, but nothing to shout about.
Anderson.
But like I keep saying to you, Cabby, in my opinion,
just
our
inside the Blackburn Rovers half, leaves it for Job on halfway, and Job
we can't string any passes together in their final third.
Comes forwards and plays
every single time we get in the final third, it's just taking the ball off where it's getting overturned very easily.
And a quickly
Richard Newton says, I said a losing streak before the playoffs is very concerning. I think it's a confidence situation. Prefer Borough over Coventry, said Simon. Tricia says, come on, Carlisle, fight for your life to stay in. Colin Major, I need more than coffee after this. That's a yes, then, says Bong.
Wide on the left, on the touchline, trying to cut back inside.
John Morgan says, I don't deserve to be in the playoffs. You what, Richie? Oh, and Carlisle have just equalised. Oh, wow.
Sanderson kicks the ball clear.
Carlisle have just equalised 90 minutes plus 2. They'll be going wild at Accrington.
Are in no hurry to take this.
Goodness me.
Official. What's he going to say? 5 minutes?
We're about to see. We're seconds away from the 90. Blackburn leading 1-0.
Nick Barnes will be mentioning that in a minute.
This throw. Here comes the 4:55 minutes. You're right.
Can Carlisle get a last-minute winner? That would be unreal.
Nyan nearly caught by.
Talk about leaving it late for Carlisle.
Sunderland. Up goes MACKEM.
Goodness.
Up goes Brown.
One of your teams retains something, Cabby.
Blackburn half, a strong run. Leaves
5 minutes away from being booted out of the Football League. And they get an equaliser.
Closed down immediately by 4 Blackburn players and foul. Free kick for Sunderland in a very shootable range.
David Bong and Gilmore. David Bong and David Jackson. Tricia says, get in, Carlisle.
Blackburn Rovers 1.
Every team in the playoff put the guts on the line. No respect for the supporters in the long run, said Stephen.
6565, or you can text 8133.
They're at a 2-1 down, is that right, Stephen Jones?
0800321
Jimmy Glass, Michael Atkinson, that's right. I've had more fun watching the stocks I've invested plummet than watching this game, said Ryan Jones.
Was I hearing West Brom 2-1?
Derby 3.
Carlisle deserve place in the league. They've played well. They've won the last 3 on the bounce.
4.
But there will be limbs.
Probably still not enough for Carlisle. Sheffield Wednesday taking the lead against Middlesbrough.
Especially if you needed that
2-1. Lefay and Roberts over this free kick. It's Roberts lifting it up over the wall and up over the bar and behind for a goal kick to.
So Carlisle at the minute on 41 points. Tranmere are on 45 with 2 games left to go. So the 4 points behind Tranmere. So Carlisle really need to win their next 2 games.
Certainly not out of it
and hopefully Tranmere
3 points behind.
Don't win. It is a long shot, but the fight.
Oh, he's doing it, well. Yeah.
4th, 5th, 6th,
you never know, like you said
7th,
before, Cabby. You never know what comes
all
on
losing
all
this
these days.
By the looks of things. Ball headed by Joe.
How the hell does Roberts still get to take set pieces as Rooster?
Sanderson back again.
He's not been the best at set pieces, has he, Roberts?
Back to the goalkeeper. His kick over halfway. Nodded down to his right by MACKEM to Brown. Brown onto Rigg. Back to Brown, across to Job here in the centre circle. Played 2.5 minutes of the minimum 5. Anderson on the left, into the centre to Job, closed down by Gay. Plays it to MACKEM again. Now looking for Brown. Brown on the right of midfield. Roberts on the right wing. Roberts dribbling at Ribeiro, trying to get into the penalty area. Ronaldo stood his ground.
You know.
Gives it away to Brown, who crosses. It's headed clear.
You're welcome, Devon MACKEM.
Chase back for Luke O'Neill.
And thanks to Richie as well for helping out in the stream today. It's been good. You enjoyed it, apart from the result?
In the centre circle.
Yeah, I always do, Cabby. We're on the bit crap with everybody.
Ben J said, sod this, back to the snooker.
MACKEM plays it into the penalty. Oh, sorry, Brown plays it into the penalty area.
I like hearing people's opinions on different things as well.
You're welcome, Kingfisher. No bother, mate.
Has he given a free kick for a foul by MACKEM?
Simon says so. It's between Blackburn, Millwall, Borough, Coventry and Bristol for the final 2 places. Still safe at 4th.
Urging everybody to.
You got all your potatoes planted, John. Fantastic news.
Of the 5 being added on. Blackburn leading 1-0.
You're welcome, Jennifer. And it's finished 1-1 at Accrington Stanley. So a life belt for Carlisle.
94 minutes played. We're into the last minute of the minimum 5. Lefay out to Mayenda on the left.
You're welcome, Billy.
Mayenda back into the middle to Job.
Welcome,
Job
Janet.
In the centre of the Blackburn half. Plays it out wide to Lefay on the left. Lefay crosses into the penalty area. He's headed out from the edge of the penalty box. It's tried O'Neill to head it back in. He's gone down. The ball headed out again. There are 2 Sunderland players down on the floor. Lefay,
welcome, Dougie Stewart. Treb, thanks. Who's injured? I don't know, Stephen.
Come back now to check on
cheers, Trisha.
Mayenda, who's lying.
Oh, don't say Mayenda's injured. Etienne, well done, John Dressod. Keith, there had better be a master plan because this is garbage. Full time at Carlisle, yep.
So we'll get some more time. Accrington 1, Carlisle 1. But I suspect, I don't know off the top of my head, that might not be enough to save Carlisle, who pretty much had to win every game.
It is enough, I'll tell you now. Nick Barnes, it is enough because they're only 4 points behind Tranmere with 2 games to go. Tranmere on 45, Carlisle on 41.
We're into the 6th minute of added time. There'll be more.
So mathematically, they're not down.
Added on. The stadium is
you're welcome, John.
Emptying.
The MACKEM says this club is a disgrace, paying fans money for disappointments. They can't even get the commentary right because I missed the first half for the audio commentary.
The 7 changes. Well, they didn't
if Mayenda is injured, we may as well give up. Is there any update on Mayenda, Rich? What's happened? You're welcome, David. Cheers, mate. Cheers for the membership.
And again, you know, we talk about management, but you know, I think
normally
a good
sometimes
example
lose
is
the stream
Leeds.
at the end of the match for some reason.
Leeds had to win. Put the pressure on Sheffield United and Burnley. What did they do? Well, they were 6-0 up.
6-0 up the last we looked.
You know, it was a case of, oh no, you know, we'll take it easy.
Yeah, they've probably wrapped it up tonight.
I mean,
Burnley plays Sheffield United at 5:30. Both of them could seal promotion back to the Premier League. As
so Middlesbrough losing, Coventry losing, Bristol City losing, and us. We're not the only ones.
O'Neill out to MACKEM.
Yeah, some surprising results today, isn't there?
That's it, full time.
Another defeat.
It's another defeat. Massive boos at the stadium. Like, can you hear that?
Mayenda doesn't look.
Oh dear.
Well, deserved, in my opinion.
You're welcome, ELS.
Maybe more from a knock to the head than anything which would be more worrying, and one has to hope that is the case. So the 7 changes that Regis Lebris made, ultimately they've slipped to another defeat. Tyrese Dolan's goal in the 33rd minute. Credit to the
we've got 2 games to go now,
they did make a fist of it.
In these 2 games, we're going to have to find some sort of form. Like I said to you before, Cabbie's going to have to play strongest team before the playoffs. I know still got players out injured. He's have some idea who's going to be playing.
Did okay.
And he's going to have to play them these final 2 games to get on the gel together.
Good enough, is it? You know, if we're going to, shall we say, be satisfied with the result.
We've had a real luxury of being
confirmed
with place in the playoffs, and ever since then it's just got worse. And I mean, it looks like they've just all taken the foot off the gas. But I hope that's not the mentality going into these playoff games, like, because honest to God, there'll be ructions on if that happens. And I tell you something, Speakman and a lot of them in the backroom staff are going to have to come out and give us some explanation as to what's going on here. Like the question you asked us before, how do I feel, CABBIE? It's just, I'm sorry to be negative.
Well, you're not at all.
This is just, I just don't know what to think now. I'm just worried and nervous, and I've got no optimism. I've got no like high hopes for. I haven't got a feeling of like how let's bring it on. You know what I mean? We fear nobody. We're just looking worse and worse every week at the minute. Like, but I don't know. It's really sad to say, like, but I think we're learning lessons now that we need to sign a striker. And I know I told you a little while ago, maybe a month or two ago, I said to you, like, maybe we shouldn't have went in for the fee. I know that's a big sort of opinion to make. Should we have spent those wages and maybe the little fee that we've got to get him in on loan on somebody else, i.e. a striker? Because there must have been strikers out there available, especially from the Premier League, the French League, where we could have got somebody in who's a little bit more deadlier than what Isidore is. I mean, yes, Mayenda's been doing all right, but he dips in and out of form. And I'm really annoyed today to see him bring Mayenda on and not play him through the middle and move Isidore to the left and let Mayenda have a go up top by himself, but he's not. So it is a little bit concerning. I think we're just going to have to wait to see how it plays out, won't we?
We are, Richie. Well said, mate. I just thank everybody in the chat as well. There's that many names, I can't read all of them. I'll just read a few comments. Dougie says the way we are playing is making everyone negative. It's really concerning that we can't score a goal, says Harry. Stephen Jones, not just the results are poor, the performance are abysmal. It breaks that mold, says Stephen. Tricia, you're not being negative, Richie, we all feel the same. Stephen Clark says it's because Labrie is swapping about now, giving the lads a chance. However, this has a big effect on the players. Thanks, CABBIE, and I'll see you next time for another suffering. Another white show, says Kane. I think Bristol City would fall out top 6. They have Leeds away next up. Simon says, thanks, CABBIE. Off to have a curry. Well, enjoy it. Well, Richie, thanks for your help today, mate. Much appreciated. Don't forget, we got the MACKEM CABBIE, Davey and Richie show tonight, 8 till 9, and we'll chew over what we've gone over. So, Richie, do you want to say ta-ra to all the viewers?
Aye, thanks for everybody tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button for CABBIE. It all helps, and it just takes you a second just to press it. But yeah, it's great to hear some people's opinions today, and I'm glad I'm not the only one feeling the way I am at the minute. But we've just got to have a little bit of hope. Let's just cling on to this little bit of hope that things are going to change. But yeah, great crack and great talk to you again, CABBIE, today.
Oh, cheers, mate. Thanks a lot. We'll end the stream now. We'll see you for the show tonight, 8 till 9. Catch you later. Cheers, Richie. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. See you later.